How y'all doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. We are here. We are here. We are here. Shout out to everybody tuning in to the Lady Luck Club. If you're tuning in from Ryan Mauro's channel or X Twitter, I think he has Twitter X up as well as his YouTube. Welcome in to the Lady Luck Club. We have a special show, and I am so excited. Happy Monday to all of you. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday to all of you all. It's July 1st. It's the first of the month. So grab your drinks and come on. Y'all come in and get settled. Get comfortable. We're going to have a good time. I just checked with Ryan before we, had our intro to make sure that all questions are welcome here. So ask your questions. I'm excited. You guys know Ryan Mauro has been doing a great job with his research, especially on, the interference is happening from Russia. And Candice's going over there thinking that we're supposed to somehow be like them. No. And I'm just excited to bring him up. Shout out to all the mods, whether you're tuning in the Lady Luck Club with Sweet Tea, Ryan Mauro on YouTube and on X. Make sure you guys hit that like button as you come in and hype it up. If you guys have any questions or any comments that we overlook or miss, please let the mods know. They will email me in a hot minute. Without further ado, you all, let's get to it. Let's bring up Ryan Mauro, the man of the hour. How you doing, honey?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm excited, as you can see.
Be here. I'm glad that I found your watch party of my podcast. It was awesome.
Yes. Did you enjoy it?
Oh, I did. I like it because you do your own research, but you're also like funny, and your audience is funny. So it's just like this perfect mix. It's the coolest thing. When you have a podcast, seeing someone react live instead of just reading it in a comment after. It's really awesome.
Oh, thank you, honey. I appreciate that compliment. And listen, I love your research. I love what you've been doing, with your presentation. Hopefully you're feeling better. I know you were sick for the first show, right?
That sucked.
Yeah.
I had to wonder if I was poisoned for a moment because because it was that bad and so sudden. The timing was so horrible. It was like I started feeling it like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I went live at 9, but it was as I was doing the final research. So, like, as you know, if you're doing research, you can do all the hard stuff. Yep. But then if you run out of time to stitch it together at the end, it's like pointless because you can't go through all those papers live. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This got to go away. So I took some medicine. Nothing worked. Like one of the most sick feelings I've ever had. And that's why I was like, did Candace poison me? But every way I looked at it, I do not believe
the box needs something else.
Yeah.
You feel better? You good to go?
I do. Yeah. Well, it was 2 weeks ago. So she might have had a voodoo doll based on some of the stuff that the occult stuff that she's adopted. That might have been what's going on.
She admitted to being an alien. So, a long time ago, we decided here in the Lady Luck Club, if Candace says she's an alien, we said we're going to call her an alien. And that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, it fits.
We call her an alien. So she gets so bigly mad. I don't care.
It's so funny how she flips, right? Because it's like at one moment she seems like if you ignored her opinions, she seems like be this totally cool chick to hang out with, you and your buddy. Like she'd be an asset to a group, and then she turns into like a demon. Like the look in her eyes, everything is just so dramatic and it's like genuine. I'm like, what is that? What is going on in that brain?
Right? It's just, and what I started doing last year when I first started kind of diving into initially just what happened with Charlie Kirk after the assassination, and just because I made it in biology pre-med. So I looked at it from just more of an anatomical stance. I did a couple of videos with 3D models of the possible damage to the neck that could have been done when he was shot. And then that's when she came out and did her video talking about, to my best friend, Charlie Kirk. And it was just like, So he, you could tell there was a huge disconnect at some point where it's, there's no text or emails or anything where, they were good friends. She never invited Erica to her show. after he, was assassinated, she never, said, "Hey,
Point.
come
That's a good
out."
point.
Yeah, she never
I saw
invited.
that.
She never
Yeah.
invited Erica Kirk to her show. Not at all. And
Yeah.
this is before they had the meeting. Before she started getting all pissy and stuff. And it was just like, why is she not? And I noticed it after the first 2-3 weeks of her talking about Charlie Kirk, and I was like, why don't you just? And I have a plethora of videos where we were at one point doing a live stream reaction to her shows. And I was like, why don't she just invite Erica Kirk to a show? Or
Yeah.
go to her house or go out there to her and go talk to her, sit down with her. Hey, Erica Kirk, if you need anything, you and the kids, y'all need some prep meals or something like that, let us know. However, we can help, make it easier for you. I don't think George Farmer has ever given his condolences,
Right.
to Charlie Kirk or his family. So when you see that type of disconnect, those things to me stand out. And so
That's a
before
good
I
point.
started really getting into the weeds of her and Charlie Kirk and all of that, I went over Candace's lawsuits just to get an idea of who we're truly dealing with. We're dealing with someone that, when it comes down to very serious matters, you talk about litigation in the court of law, she does not take it seriously. She considers herself to be above the rule of law. It's like, how dare you sue me? It's this arrogance and air about herself where she never feels that she should be held accountable, and she should be able to say what she wants, try to pass it off as First Amendment free speech, and does it with impunity. And that's not how it works. And so once I got a feel of what she was capable of doing, especially when she has her eyes set on someone, she got her fangs and someone she locks in, is like lockjaw with a mutt, and just locks in and does not let go until you gotta hit her with a lawsuit. It's almost like how she did with Kimberly Klasick. And that's a prime example of how this young lady was running for, I think some local congresswoman in her district, and she went out and she just badmouthed her so bad it damaged her credibility, and she is just running for an election in her state, in her district. But yet Kimberly Klasick, beautiful young girl, smart, intelligent, and also Republican conservative, and it's like, she treated this situation like it was competition, as if Candace is the only black conservative out here. It's like, no, you're not. You just so happen to be the loudest and the one that's more wrong.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. You're right.
It's
I know, like, she picked a fight with Tommy Lahren when Tommy first became big. I remember thinking that was weird because, I mean, I do see that with the young influencers. Like, I kind of expected, but I was surprised how she just kept going.
Yes.
So that makes sense. And just as you were talking, I just realized something. Like, I've been in these circles for quite some time. So most public figures I've either interacted with or I know someone who has, and I've heard a secondhand story. With Candace, aside from when she first became famous, like, I've never heard of anyone hanging out with her. Like, I've never heard these secondhand story. Like, I'm wondering, and I'm not trying to really insult her, I'm trying to understand her. She might not have had a genuine friendship in recent years and genuinely think she was friends with Charlie because she has nothing to compare it to. Because it's just, she's this big personality, and those usually have a lot of friends. I'll hear stories. I may not be the most social person, but I'll hear the stories. And her was just briefly I did, and then nothing. So it's just a little odd. You put it all together, and maybe there's something there. But in her background, because I didn't look into her personal background so much, I went like foreign connection and extremism out, and then I went in was the approach.
Okay.
Whereas, other people will look into the entirety of her life and then come outwards. Did you see anything that would explain that sense of entitlement? If you're saying she doesn't respect the law, the obsessiveness, I mean, it's like a true OCD to an extreme. Where's that coming from? Because I don't think she came from like a rich, entitled family, right?
Well, see, here's the thing. Candace has actually lied about her background. We were checking a video out yesterday, and we actually checked out another podcaster that actually interviewed one of her cousins. And her cousins, came out and was like, it's about an hour long. It's on Storm Monroe's channel. And the cousin's name is Nesta Rose. And so Nesta Rose, of course, talks about how they have a huge family. It's about 4 or 5 cousins, all born in that same year, so they're about the same age, very close knit. And she basically said, Candace didn't, Candace mentioned in her interview with Russell Brand that she was kicked out of the house at 14, had to live with a boyfriend for 6 months. Well, the cousin was like, that didn't happen. Her mother made sure that, her and her 2 girls, Candace has 2 sisters at the very least, who are on the up and up. She had her grandparents, her grandfather, that cared for her. There was no way her grandfather would let her get kicked out the house at 14 years old as a minor child and go and live with some boyfriend for 6 months. Like, it's absurd. And so her cousin not only came and debunked that, but then also had to kind of set some things straight about, how she came out speaking about her background and about her family. And, said flat out, like, she owes us an apology. She needs to apologize for that and set that right.
Oh, so I did see that. Okay.
Yeah. You have a cousin saying.
I saw a clip of it anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get a sense of how powerful that is for her to not be afraid or ashamed to come out and say, you owe your relatives, your family, an apology for this. And most of the stuff that she said about her background is unnecessary. But Candace, being the type of person she is, she's a narcissist. She has to be the smartest person in the room. And she goes out thriving to invoke emotions and emotional response from people. So weaponizing, religion, or her, in her mind, Catholicism, trying to present herself in this light where she had to struggle to get to the top, and she came from this horrible background. And all these things are designed to invoke some sort of emotional response. But when you have relatives say none of that is true, it's kind of, at this point, her fictitious world she's built around herself is so far out of reach. Realism for her reality is nowhere near in tune with everyone else. So her lying in her mind, like, hypocrisy is not something narcissism don't. They don't care if they're being hypocritical.
Was she raised by her grandparents, or what? What was the status there?
The cousin says she was raised by her parents and had her grandparents for support. So she had her parents and grandparents in her life. Now, how close she was to her mother, father, her cousin didn't dive into that. But at the very least, they both consistently said that she did live and reside sometime with her grandparents as well. So
and we don't know why, though, right? She didn't say why.
We don't know why. Okay. But it wasn't because she was kicked out the house. It's like, one of the things the cousin said was that, this is a cousin whose mother is the sister to her mother. So their mothers are sisters. And she was like, my aunt made sure that her and her girls were on the up and up. So we don't know where she got that from. And I think she just makes these things up to see how people will react to it, and to try to emulate that, to invoke that emotional response, so where you feel sorry for her, where you're like, oh, let her go out and let her strive, Lady Locke. She came from the, started from the bottom and went to the top. Like, but that's not, all of that is facetious. It's not reality. It's not real. And because her relatives don't really speak out like that, it's hard to really gauge what's truth in that, unless you hear one of these relatives come out and say something, which they barely do. That's the one cousin's interview we've been able to catch.
That's weird.
And that's it. It's all the rest of this big family. None of these relatives want to speak out. Her mother hasn't said anything. Your daughter's out here attacking Erica Kirk for no reason. But where are these people at to reel it in and to help her you remain humble? Where's the humility factor in this? She doesn't have that barrier. She doesn't have people around her to tell her no.
That's definitely true. She's definitely made a deliberate decision to, like, her producers and everyone around her, and some of the other people I think also do this, like Tucker Carlson, because they'll say things that any producer who you hire to help edit you, keep you in check as part of the role, or an assistant or whatever, that's usually part of it. They obviously are not comfortable saying anything because they'll say things that are so stupid that a normal relationship, someone would feel comfortable saying, okay, I just need to check on it. Like when Tucker goes to the Russian supermarket and he's amazed at this invention that they have with the shopping carts, where you put the coin in, and then you take it, and you bring it back, you take the coin out. And he was like, look at this. And it's like, that's been around for years. And all the normal people have had to do that. And his eyes are all big. Like a normal producer or a friend, anybody would have been like, dude, edit that out, because it wasn't even live. So somewhere in the process, like people saw it and were just like, we're just not going to say anything. And that only happens by choice when you say that's the type of relationship I'm going to cultivate. And I think she does the same thing, because I've seen no evidence ever that she contends with opposing information. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There was one time she had the comedian Ami, I believe his name is.
Ami goes, him on one, like,
but she hadn't quite choose radical then, but she hadn't gone full board, full board radical yet. So that's almost an interesting data point. When was the last time we have record of her talking to anyone in any substantive way that had a different point of view? I think that might be the only time.
Right. Yeah. That can keep her grounded and keep her humble and help to keep her, in check with reality here. And it's, that's the unfortunate part. And when she does have people that at one point stood by her side, like we seeing on, on X, right? These sycophants and people that they were out parroting her talking points, and then they have a realization and they're like, oh, wait, we're not going there. Now you're just full of crap. And now they get hounded and treated as, the enemy. And that's typically what you see from this cult of personality. But as far as who can she talk to that will tell her the truth, that she will listen to and take heed, who can give her wisdom? Maybe Charlie was that buffer, and he realized he couldn't invest the time and energy to continue to be that, because Candace is draining.
I don't think
so draining.
Yeah, and I mean, as a guy, and like imagine how busy he is. But I'll just say, as a guy, when we come across a woman, even as a friend, that has the fire of Candace Owens, we have no problem being like, oh, okay, whatever, and then just forgetting about it. It's like born in us, where it's like we see that type of personality, and it's like, all right, I'm just okay. And then for some reason it gets interpreted as surrendering or agreeing. And it's just one of those things between men and women I see all the time. And it'll be like, no, it's not agreeing. It's just, we can't deal with you right now.
Right, exactly. And if you have a wife and kids and a business and family and other friends and loved ones, and you have someone that, Candace is very needy. It's like the way she obsesses also shows how needy she can become and very dependent she can become on someone. And it's like her, all her energy is deadlocked on that person. It's like, well, that person may not have the time and energy to give that back to you. They can't give you that type of energy back. And so I think Charlie Kirk probably realized that a while back. Like, I can't give this girl this type of energy. She's sitting here, probably stalking my every move. I'm not studying her like that. Like, I got a wife, I got kids, I got TPUSA, I got all these other things going on. He's got other friends and other people that love him, want to be around him. And you can see now that he's gone and he's not here to defend himself, how she kind of hogs him and acts as if he belongs to her and no one else. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at a situation regarding her, even going back to the idea of her having a friend, how can she have a viable, realistic friendship with someone when that is how she is emotionally and psychologically, mentally speaking? She's imbalanced. And I highly doubt George Farmer gives her that time. He's supposed to be married to her.
He doesn't. He is the exact type of guy to have an exceptional amount of what I said before, where it's just like, oh, there she goes again.
Yeah, I'm going to my closet.
He just doesn't seem. He doesn't seem like the type to give the fire back, or to, like, just entire demeanor and everything. And I don't know, that whole story is so weird about them getting married. And it was only, if I remember right, I think it was that September Charlie met Erica, and then she sees, like, it's right after, like, typically. I'm not saying it's a rebound because I don't know. I'm just saying it looks like it, and she's just like, oh, this rich guy is definitely my husband. The story that she claims. I was spiritually driven to go to London. We now know there's a huge fundraiser there. So that spiritual feeling was money. And she goes there and she meets him and she's like, first of all, she can't get the story right about how they met, who introduced, like
they were introduced.
Basic details are messed up. And then she's like, all right, just locked eyes. And I just knew that was my husband right there, as if that's a real thing. That's what happens when a young girl watches too many Disney movies. That really kind of doesn't happen. Even when people say it happens, you dig deeper, you're like, oh, so you did talk a little bit. But no, she has this perfectly scripted thing going. And I mean, I've heard the rumors from more than one person that he was gay or bi or whatever.
He probably still is.
So here, what I said is how I answered that in some podcast. But one day I'm sure it'll get me in trouble. I said, I don't know if he was gay. I heard beforehand. I'm pretty sure after he got engaged to her, he became gay because any guy would. So it's like,
10 points for you. I love it.
Because I mean, if I had an experience like that,
I know. Oh, that would drive you crazy. Oh my God.
No, every time she talks, I'm. Let's put it this way: I'm normally 100% straight. Every time she talks, I get about 97% asexual or gay because it's like.
You know, I'm like that.
Like no, that I need to run away from. I want no attraction to anything in that universe.
Candace, you dumb alien. Drive me in the turn gay. Back to my closet. Leave me alone.
That's the conspiracy theory. You know the conspiracy theory about the UN wanting to depopulate the world?
Lord.
If we can connect her to the UN and the globalists who are supposedly trying to depopulate the world, we can probably create a conspiracy theory that she was set up by the UN and the globalists to make men gay and then depopulate the world.
It's like it's amazing how she's allegedly pregnant with baby number 5. It's like, you know, George is not putting this in that. Like, no, dear, not tonight. Just go figure it out. Oh, this is too priceless. So when it comes out, and that's a thing. It's like when it comes out too, you look at every aspect of her life. I mean, aside from one day her kids might grow up and do a video like my mom gets on my nerve. It's like,
oh yeah.
You can't imagine all these.
Imagine videos when they go through the rebellious stage.
Yes. Oh, they're gonna tell on her.
Ooh.
It's like, you took us to Russia for a trip. That's not fun.
I just wanted to go to Disney. You told me I was going to Disney, and I ended up in Moscow.
Next thing we know, we were looking at KGB.
You said it was a family vacation, Mom. You were giving interviews the whole time.
I know. Candace had those kids cooped up in a hotel room. She's so lame. I went in. I said, Candace, you were sitting here trying to prove a point to somebody, girl. Bye. You know that is not a family trip. You don't take small kids to Russia. What is wrong with you? Like, girl,
there's a State Department advisory. The highest level State Department advisory says don't go.
Exactly.
Because it's a war zone and Russia tends to do not nice things to Americans. And here's the thing, the day of that event, because it's one of the biggest events in Russia year round that she went to. It's actually the most secure spot in Russia you can ever go to that's not a government office year round. So that's sketchy in and of itself, aside from the Russian intelligence and Jeffrey Epstein connections to it all. But here's the thing, the day it opens, when you walk in, there's smoke in the nearby distance because there was a drone strike. So this mother with her kids is like, not only does she go there, but if she needed a little visual reminder, this is a bad idea. Well, there's a drone strike nearby, and her decision is not to hightail it to America. It's, all right, well, that probably won't happen again. And she just goes.
It's just craziness. I mean, and it makes me, and this is the thing. As much as, you know, I would like to think George is probably keeping his distance in the house, it's still, you know, overall questionable as to why he is even encouraging this. He's not telling her like, no, I want you to go make me a sandwich and go sit down and have several seats. Like, no, we're not going there. Like, he's not objecting to any of this. He's talking about he goes fishing there for mermaids and whatever.
Yeah. And he went in case anyone's wondering, he took the fishing trips to Russia before according to her story, before they got married. So it's not like, I can understand if you're going to Russia, get away from her, but when you voluntarily go, that's a little significant. But I mean, it's really interesting what's going on here, because if you look at how the Russian state media is characterizing them now, because there's a script, it's almost like a rollout, just like you see with a TV series or anything. Like, they're preparing for something. I can just tell the production of it. My theory, as you know, is that Candace is preparing the option to actually defect there, to move there, and then put her assets partially there and probably Dubai or somewhere else, but probably Dubai. But the scripting, if you pay attention to, well, actually, I'm sure someone who pays attention to any type of movie would see it also. But if you know how the Russian propaganda style works, it's a big introductory tour. It's not just like, oh, here's this person, we're going to talk about a topic. It's all about her, a little bit about her husband. It's introducing characters to something about to happen, or a new show that's about to launch. Just like any Hollywood production would do. It's covert a little bit. But the last interview that came out was, first it said that she's the biggest source of news in English or something crazy like that. Yeah, she's a top conservative activist. It's like, no, she's not. But so they're lying, but it's interesting what they're doing. So they're propping her up as the face, the big personality, the source of news, the commentator, the activist, and then George Farmer. They will explain in the last interview, but I've seen it elsewhere. They're characterizing him as a theologian, because I guess he studied theology at Oxford or something like that.
Right, yeah.
But they're really emphasizing that. And I'm like, that just fits a script, whether it's true or not. Like, it's just, if you're designing propaganda, it's just, you have the white European rich guy who's a lead at the top, and he's like the quiet intellectual, he's the theologian, and then you have the big character, who is not from a wealthy background, who is a minority, who's an American. So you have the American and the European, and who is she? She's the journalist, she's the commentator, she's the activist. It's the perfect pairing. Just for like a show, especially of this particular type of propaganda. And I just found that really interesting, that they're trying to build up his theological creds. I don't think he has any. I think he
just went to school, I believe, but he's not, it's not like he's out trying to become a minister or bishop or apostle or anything. He's not utilizing that education. I mean, I think he would have done that a long time ago when he obtained education. So it's like what she always, to her at this point, everything's a PR stunt. It's all about public relations. She talking about wanting to be on TPUSA's payroll and get a monthly retainer. Everything's a PR for her. It's an working Truman Show that is being written in real time. So it's no surprise to hear that they're trying to set up this propaganda, because that's how she operates in the world of propaganda. Comes Candace and Dumb George. Like, this is never ending.
Is amazing. It's almost like, I mean, it gives circumstantial evidence supporting the idea that it was an arranged marriage, essentially, or at least a business
it is.
Because, but from it's so perfect for script writing and like what I suspect Russia wants to do, but really any marketer would see this. It's almost like they were created in a lab, and it was like, all right. So one day, Russia wants to kick our butts in the propaganda war. How do we do it? And the contrasting personalities, the contrasting credentials, it's like the Russian propaganda is all about the U.S. and Europe. You have an American and a European, then you have the guy that, like, they're so complementary. It's just such a perfect package for propaganda. It's just amazing. It only dawned on me last week as I was going through all those features that I'm like, that's just astonishing.
It is.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you, speaking of her trying to more than likely move some assets around.
Someone mentioned the black eye. I've got to ask you, did you have any theories on that? Are there any relevant data points around that time that we can zero in on?
I think she's going to, Candace said 6 months ago, and I say this because she actually said in a video, we caught it, that she was saying things like, I'm sick of America, and I would rather, think I'm going to go to Russia. I would rather be Russian. She said this 6 months ago. I actually clipped the video.
Oh, she said I'd rather be?
She said I would rather be Russian than American. Flat out. And I have the video on my channel. on my
I'm
playlist.
gonna have to look for it because I missed that one. That's a good one.
That's the title of the video. Candace Owens said she would rather be Russian. It's on my channel. And I said this was 6 months ago. And so when she said she was going to Russia, I was like, she already told us 6 months ago she was going to do this. It's just how she phrases it. She thinks that no one notices. I caught it. And I was just like, she said she's going to go to Russia. So at some point, she's going to go to Russia. Because that's what she's telling us. And my whole mindset is, well, if you want to go to Russia, go to Russia. You already a traitor to the U.S. Like, bye. And don't come back.
Yeah.
But I think then she probably started trying to make some moves to try to move some of this money around, create these LLCs. Because, I mean, we've gone over Brexit tax filings. We saw some LLCs registered under Brexit where money was being, put towards. And then that's how we discovered Parler Inc. was connected to Brexit. And so, aside from her just hemorrhaging money on security details, she put money towards two major consultant firms that were basically social media fundraising websites. That's how they were phrased as in the tax filings. One of them holds the LLC for Parler Inc. And it's like, so you move money. That's how you operate. You set up these LLCs and you kind of put money under these LLCs where you think people can't make that connection. But the idea that she's going to try to move money, if she goes to Russia and then tries to put money in Dubai, I don't think the government of Russia might let her do that when they're more communistic. They want you to put your money in their government, in their economy.
But they can always take it later.
Hard though, wouldn't it be? And I was going to ask you about that. Wouldn't that be hard for them if they're trying to funnel money to fund their war and all this stuff? Would they really let her put millions abroad somewhere in Dubai?
I think in a way they would make so much money from her money being there by propping her up, because I know most people are saying, oh, I hope she goes to Russia so we can get rid of her. But if you look at how the Russian ideological warfare is going, all the signs of what's being planned, I hate to say it, but she's going to become a lot more dangerous from over that. Like the destruction that she can do to America from there, it's like giving her an atom bomb, and right now she has a musket. Because what'll happen is, so she moves her money there, but some money there, what she wants to spend internally. But if you want to do international transactions, like you don't want to keep it in Russia with the saying, you want to keep it in Dubai, and then Dubai, it's easier to get it into Russia, especially if you do crypto, which George knows crypto. So that makes sense. Yeah. Andrew Tate operates out of Dubai. He can help them because he successfully does this type of thing. So I think she can get what money she needs for, you put 6 months there, some assets, but the bulk that you keep in Dubai, and then you'll be all right. It's more difficult getting money in without breaking the law, and then spending it outwards without breaking the law is the hard part. But that's why I say Dubai, you add that in there, and it kind of makes sense. But what the next phase is, and this is what, like, I'm not launching a podcast about Candace Owens because I care that much about her and the personality, because I don't. It's because this is the ultimate influence operation of my lifetime, and everything I've studied from all angles all comes together in a way that they never really have in this one spot with this one story. And it's the perfect microcosm for teaching people what's going on, why, how it happens, and what's going to come next. And if she does go to Russia, or if she just operates out of Russia and lives here, that's a little tougher. But especially if she goes there, what's going to happen is that Russia has its own ecosystem. But the problem they have with their propaganda ecosystem, all the hosts and stuff, is that nobody wants to watch it. It's hard to access, but you can access it if you have enough advertisement. Now, Candace is such a captivating personality, and her cultish following is so devoted that they will follow her to Telegram. They will follow her to Rumble or an official Russia. If Russia sets up a new network or whatever, they will follow her there. And then Russia can not only funnel information and propaganda through her, she'll definitely say it because she already is saying ridiculous stuff about Russia. But she can be the lead-in for someone else. She'll have a show before her. And once you lock, especially, unfortunately, Americans, it's statistically more effective with Americans than other nationalities. Once you bring us into an echo chamber, because people tend to stay where they are. So they go see Candace. All right, well, let me see what's next. You get them in that universe, it's very easy to get them so convinced they're right and they're seeing the truth that they reject everything else. Oh, that's all globalist propaganda. It's all woke. And then now we'll have a situation that we've never had in our history where a Russian propaganda operation is actually popular with millions and millions of Americans optionally tuning in every single day. This is a nightmare. And when you combine it with the Russian Orthodox Church, this is what I think is the biggest threat to Christianity right now, and almost no one knows about it, is Russia's promoting this authoritarian czarist type of Christianity, where you have a czar like Putin. And what they're saying is that for Christianity and our morals to survive, you've got to peel back the freedom a little bit. We got to adopt some dictatorship, and then your people flourish. So it's ultimately worth it. And so that's what's so key about what really caught my attention is, they're propping Candace up as the right type of Christian. But can you imagine her as a preacher? Like, no, she's not gonna. She said she she said she wants to spend some years studying theology in Russia, and I'm sure she'll try. But
she won't even read the Bible.
Never pull it off. She'll never be the one that's like, all right, let me tell you about Scripture. But George might, and that's why I was like, oh, why are they propping him up as a credible theological source? That's a new thing. And that's what I'm afraid of, is that if they're beaming through Candace and George, not just Russian propaganda politically, but this form of Christianity, which is pro-jihadist at the same time, you infect a lot of new Christians who get into it through her, or Christians who support her and then start saying, oh, I think she makes some good points. That's hard. I mean, it turns Christianity into something pro-dictatorship and pro-jihadi, which is terrible. But then also everyone else who is falling out of the faith or is considering joining, like the people in the middle, they're going to become atheists, because they're going to say, is that
you're crazy on both sides?
They're going to say, oh, that's Christianity? I am wrong. I want nothing to do with that. So you simultaneously increase the number of atheists at the same time that you increase the number of czarist pro-Putin Christians. So I consider it to be the biggest threat to the faith on earth right now, and almost nobody knows it's happening. And it's going to be in every church. This debate, this topic of like, oh, well, does Putin have a point? Next couple of years, that debate's going to be happening in every congregation.
Yeah, man, that's scary to think about. If you have, ministers and pastors that read and study the Word of God and consider themselves to be Christians, to try to have that type of debate. God doesn't even force salvation. Salvation is free to all who want it, but it's not forced or coerced. And that's the thing. So if God doesn't force or coerce salvation, who are we to sit here and let some mere mortal think he's going to, who has not died on the cross or anything, try to force anything? That's the last thing, the idea of you losing any liberty or freedom in anything. It should be scary overall. Whom the Son has set free is free indeed, and that's the Word of God. Candace doesn't read the Bible, so I don't even like her saying that she's a Christian seriously, because she doesn't read Scripture. She's never said a prayer. She doesn't even adhere to the Scriptures that talk about not attacking widows, like simple Scriptures that people have pointed out just regarding Erica Kirk. It's like she laughs and scoffs at it. She mocks God with that, and meanwhile, George is standing behind the camera letting that happen. So, even the idea of him being propped up to this so-called, great theologian because he's quiet does not make him less dangerous. I think that just makes him more dangerous. It's always the stucky ones. It's always the quiet ones, because you don't know what move they're making. You don't see them coming. And so, it's, if he goes out just because he took a course, I took a course in school about the Bible and history, but it doesn't mean that I should be going out saying now that I'm this, theological scholar of any sort and should be telling people this is what Scripture say, when you can't get your own wife to understand Scripture about defending widows. That's simple Scripture. You can't even do that. So we can't take you seriously when you are not preaching Scripture in your household as the man of your house. We're not taking you seriously at all. So
I think what we need to do is Maybe someone out there can Google if there is a Bible that comes in the form of a color by numbers book.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like a coloring book or a pop-up book.
Connect the dots.
And then we'll mail it to Candace. I think that probably has the highest odds of getting her to read the Bible would be one that she has to like color or paint, like a finger paint Bible somehow with a picture next to it. The verses that might work.
Yeah, no, and you gotta make sure that the words are got the pronunciations in it because she's gonna say barrette and not beret.
Alkaloids is the best one.
Then if she gets mad, she's gonna tell you F you and the tiny horse you rode on. Somehow she thinks God is like, oh yeah, that's good.
Where she explained the definition of what goyim is and goy. And she was saying that it stands for like cage or cattle. Yeah, like cattle is what she's saying. And so she's trying to say that Jews believe that non-Jews, who they call goyim or goy, are like equivalent to cattle. And I'm like,
oh God.
I don't know how. She goes to some church. She must not be listening. There is no priest or pastor on earth that would be like, oh, when the Bible says, go, I don't even know if she knows this from the Bible because she's talking about Jews saying it. So she may not even know it's a biblical term or where it comes from. But she's speaking with all this confidence that that's what the definition of that word is. And it's that's the type of thing that gets dispelled with a 1-minute conversation with a pastor or a priest or AI. Put it into ChatGPT for her to say it.
Google. It's just Google. It's like, Candy, just Google this stuff. When I have to Google words and make sure they're real words.
Let me tell you the secret that I didn't even plug into Grok or talk to a pastor about. Now I'm going to tell you what this ancient term means, what the secret code is. Like, what?
This is coming from the woman that said that she does not know the difference between the letter N and the number 9.
She didn't say that. No.
Yes.
She said that?
She said that. She's like, I don't know the difference. We snipped it. I promise you all. If hit the floor if y'all remember me her saying that. And we snipped it from one of her shows or her saying, I don't know the difference between the letter N and the number 9. What do you mean?
Was she joking? Was she joking like she misread something, or was she trying to make a point that they're too similar?
It's just stupid.
Oh my God!
I don't know the difference between the letter N and the number 9. You can't write this stuff right to say. I laughed so hard.
Oh my goodness. I saw someone in one of the chats also made the point. I didn't realize this. I'm wondering, you might know if it's true or not. I kind of hope it's true, even though I shouldn't hope it's true. That when George had the black eye in that picture, that was around the time that she broke her leg, which if that's true, then the likeliest reason, and I don't know, but I'm just saying statistically, the likeliest thing that happened is she hit him, and she fell when he pushed her away in a non-violent, just so I don't get punched in the eye, because obviously if she hit him and caused the blind eye or threw something at him, like your reaction is going to be to go like that. Because I'm just saying, you look at any couple, especially someone with a temper like hers, and the dude has a black eye at the same time that the woman has a broken leg. Everyone can tell you what went on there. Like,
yeah.
Is that definitely true? That's the same time? Does anybody know that for a fact? I'm looking in the chat.
I think it occurred around the same time. But see, what's worse is she will not explain the injuries. And you see someone like a George Farmer walking through an airport with Candace. People know this is her husband.
Yeah.
And he's got this visible black eye, and he's not trying to hide it. That was one of the things I pointed out when we first talked about it. I was like, he's not even trying to hide this, because he would have wore some shades. He would have put on some makeup.
Yeah, right.
He just got a baseball cap on, and we see this clear black eye. And it's like, what the heck is going on? And
he's crying for help.
He's crying for help. It's like he wanted us to see it. And that, to me, because if I know I'm married to someone that's high profile, like this idiot, and it's like, okay, is it a good idea to walk through an actual busy airport with a black eye? I'm going to cover it up, or I'm going to wear shades. He doesn't wear glasses, not like to, visually see. So he could get away with wearing some shades. Why did he wear shades? He did not try to conceal it. He wanted people to see this, and he knew somebody's gonna take a photo of them walking through the airport. I don't think she'll be able to go anywhere without a camera, someone wanting to take a picture if they recognize her. And of course they recognize him. And he got this big black eye. And he's in the back photo, just standing there. He's not trying to cover it up. He's not putting his hands up. He's not doing any of this stuff.
And it looked aimed too. It's not like the type of punch where it's like a black eye where it like is like an L shape, like you turned your head, or it's like whatever projectile struck him was aiming, right? Like it just looks like it. Now maybe I don't know. Maybe he tripped and fell on something that was the shape of a fist that landed on his eye. I don't know. But I'm just saying, statistically, the odds favor a better story than that. But when you say that, you're like, well, why didn't he cover it up? I mean, it actually could be that he wants people to see because he doesn't know what's coming down the line. I mean, that's like that would make sense. But also, like, there's so many times where I'm like, Candace lacks self-awareness. Like, it's not just evil or stupidity at a moment. Like she actually doesn't grasp how she's viewed and what's significant and what isn't at a certain point. Because I'm like, I can't believe she's just like offering that. And it happens so often that if you told me like that, they're somewhere and they just thought no one would notice he has a black eye or no one would think into it, I'd say, you know what, that would be consistent with things that we see too. Yeah.
And then you gotta, think about and I know this happened a couple years ago, but with George's DUI, who you think you're gonna get away with no one finding out about that? He totaled the whole truck.
He had a gun, right?
It was 3 years ago. It was.
Did he have a gun?
He got charged with a possession of a weapon on him. And I was like, you got that. He had 3 charges.
He's so rich. Why didn't he even Uber? I guess maybe you can't bring a gun in an Uber. But
call somebody to pick. They have money to get a limo or something. Like, get a driver. Like, who's your driver? Like, those types of things. Like, you can't. You went out and got behind the wheel of $100,000+ truck, 2-ton vehicle, and you were drunk and you crashed it into the earth. Thank God it didn't hit another car. It went into a ditch. You can't make this up. It's like, I don't think at this point, I don't think Candace cares, because look what happened with that matter. It went so long. I didn't just think to dive and see if he had DUIs, but the fact that it was unveiled that he had a DUI like this 2-3 years ago, and then I went to go find court records on it. I didn't see anything. It's like, if this is the cycle, this mindset where if something happens, well, we just pay for it to go away. We'll just pay the insurance policy off, because they didn't get an insurance payout on it because he caused the accident and he was drunk. But it's like, think about if someone was driving behind the wheel of a car and he hit a car and it had kids in it. Yeah. She would not have said anything about that. Like, anything where, if you want to talk about someone looking at you from a realistic stance, and you could say, we're humans, we mess up, all of this. Here's a situation where you can own it. No, what did she say? Oh, it's just a fender bender. He could have killed somebody. What do you mean? Like, it's just, she doesn't care. I just, at this point, Candace doesn't care. And if she cared more, just even with her taking the kids to Russia, you and George Farmer go to Russia, leave the kids here with their grandparents. Like, why are you taking the kids over there? She doesn't care. It's all about her. She has not learned the art of even being selfless as a parent, let alone.
Neither is George, apparently, because George, he came up like a wussy guy where you're like, you know what, there might be some heart. Like, you don't know if his heart got toyed with also at the same, like, you don't know how that went. Yeah. But then I saw it when Laura Loomer broke the story about the drunk driving incident, that he had a gun and all this. And I was like, man, you can have I understand people making mistakes in a moment, you lose a temper. Like I try to be as forgiving as possible, but when you're a wealthy person drinking and driving, especially as much as he supposedly drank, someone of his level of wealth is an unfathomable amount of of selfishness, not caring about other people. Like, in the world of Uber, like, before I understood when people like drink and drive, it's always wrong. But you go out with your friends, you say, "Oh, I'm not going to drive, or I'm not going to drink much," and you end up having 3 or 4 like that. and then it turns into more. Like that happens, and it's a mistake, and it's wrong. But there's a rationality to it. But when you now in the world of Uber, where you just got to hit some buttons on your phone, and you just spend a little bit of money, but then a rich person doing it, like you are a scum bag.
Yeah,
like being a drunk driver is more immoral and stupid than it's ever been. And but then you add on top of that the gun, the fact that he's married to a public figure, how much he drank, he's like that's an evil personality. I'm sorry, you've got to be a really bad person.
Oh, I've been saying this for the last good week. I've been saying in the LLC, George Farmer is just as evil as Candice. You know, there's no way he's not seeing all these videos she's doing, her posts, and how she's and still laughing this off. Like, oh, it's just a joke. We just do this for show. At some point, it starts to affect you in real life. At some point, you got to remember Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk had 2 kids. One day they're going to probably grow up and they're not going to be shielded from the internet forever. They might see these videos and posts. What do you want them to see here? You know, I mean, it's disgusting. Even when the emergency stream or whatever she did, I was watching Audie Trolls because I just can't bear her watching her show directly. So I'll watch like someone else that cover her, like a clip or something like that. And she shows a clip of the casket being rolled in with Charlie Kirk in the casket. Why are you doing that? Just to show somebody what Mikey McCoy looks like. It's that you're just searing it in, you know, and being very evil and sinister about this. No conscience about how this would affect the kids, his parents, his loved ones, his friends. He had loved ones and friends. He has parents. He had people that loved him before he even got married. So you think you're doing this just to Erica Kirk? No, you're doing this to everyone that loved him and cared for him. He has a mother. You don't think his mother is like being re-traumatized over again? Like, forget your vindication and whatever jealousy and envy you have against Erica Kirk for 3 seconds. What about his mother? What if he has sisters, nieces, other people in his life? You're re-traumatizing all these people over again to play a clip of Micah McCoy holding his casket where you know he's in that casket. And for what?
And to just say negative things.
Send a message to Erica Kirk. Like, this is crazy.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's one of the most evil things I've ever seen. And it's in a certain sense, without sounding dramatic, it's more evil than like a Jeffrey Dahmer, because that person's so messed up. Whereas Candice should know better. Whereas some people are just so messed up and evil that it's like you just shouldn't even exist. But she's a human, like as a human being, she's not an anomaly like those people are. So she has the positive influence. She rejects them and instead just chooses over and over again to just do evil and evil over and over again. And as you're talking, I was trying to think, I was like, you know, if Candice was around when Jesus was crucified, what would she say about that? Because my immediate thought is she would say Mary did it.
I think, that's not Jesus on the cross.
That everyone would have the most sympathy for, be his mother. And Candice was around and Jesus was crucified and everyone would be mad at like the Romans and saying, wow, that happened. She would be out there on the corner and saying, guys, we have to look into Mother Mary. Like,
exactly. How dare you let your son get up there? Like, up there? What do you mean? Like,
I looked at her muscles. She could have carried that cross.
She could have carried it. She didn't help at all.
Questions, you guys.
No. They won't give me the answers. I've talked to Mary and Joseph and all his siblings and cousins and Lazarus and all the 12 disciples, and none of them won't. They refuse to give me the footage. Like, it's she'll be carrying on like this. We're in any situation. This is her personality, her mentality. This is how she thinks. And even when it comes, back to the, litigation matters, it's like she doesn't take any of that stuff seriously, or she's trying to weasel her way out of it. Like any other situations, you either trying to find a way out of it, not be held accountable or responsible, or you don't take it seriously. When she sued the apartment complex, they won by default judgment. This heifer didn't even go to the trial hearing. She was a no-show at the hearing.
She said that she had a yeast infection.
That's a systemic yeast infection.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny. And it's just like, girl, you first of all, you hired the wrong type of attorney, and then you get to the trial hearing, and you don't even go. and they win by default judgment. And you didn't like say, oh, okay, well, I probably shouldn't even file that lawsuit. But thank goodness they counterclaim so that they can reclaim the back pay of rent that she didn't want to pay for 7 months. Like, it's ridiculous stuff.
Who told
you get to live for free?
That happened? Because I feel like I looked it up and I was surprised at how old she was when she did that.
Yeah, she was old. She was well over 25.
Was she already? Lexit wasn't formed yet, was it?
I think it came after that.
Yeah, I would assume so. Because if you're a public figure and you do something like that,
yeah, she was working. The fact that she was working, making decent money, whether she was working for PragerU, TPUSA, Daily Wire, she was still making decent money, and thought, oh, it would be a good idea to go live in an apartment where I'm paying $3,500 a month in rent. Why are you paying that much money in rent? It's so stupid. But it's like just airheadish. She's like an airhead, stuck in high school. She's like the epitome of a mean girl, 16 years old, stuck in high school, doing airheadish things that 16-year-olds do. Like, probably not even 16-year-olds, like 14-year-olds do. It's like, yo, you still say and do things that show a lack of intelligence. You're still easily impressionable, gullible to things that you shouldn't be gullible towards. And yet when you get called out on it, then all of a sudden you want to come off like you're this arrogant expert when you're not, and you don't know the difference between the letter N and the number 9. So it's only so much serious people should be taking her. And this is how she is. And now you see this mean girl come out. I'm not shocked. I'm disgusted, but I'm not shocked because she was this mean girl when she was going after Kimberly Klacik. This was why I started with that, because I think that's the most realistic view you can get of someone and their thought process going over, litigation matters, that should be taken very seriously. If anything, you take a matter in the court of law very seriously. And how she handles that is like
a mentor or like anyone with any professional experience or even like a good guy friend who would be not afraid to say, or like an older brother or someone that would have said, this doesn't make sense to file this lawsuit because the paperwork, it all gets public, and employers see whether you're right or wrong, future business partners you have, future employers, they don't like seeing you sue your landlord or suing in general. It's just not good. And I doubt she had anybody in her inner circle that said, I hear you, but this is a bad move for you. I just even back then, it seems like she didn't have that.
No, she didn't. And she didn't even hire the right type of attorney. So
she didn't. Is that right?
Bother. Yeah, she hired the wrong type of attorney. She hired a sports medicine attorney or something like that. She was supposed to, I tell you,
every time. Every single action she does, you have to look under because there's something funny or odd that went wrong. There's nothing like, oh, I'm going to go. I need to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to go walk to the bathroom over there. It's 10 feet away, and I'll be back within 10 minutes. Something in there in a Candace story will go wrong. You'll be like, oh, it actually wasn't 10 feet away. For some reason, it was 300. There were alligators. There was a hole in the floor, and there was alligators. Like any feature of her life, you look at it and you're just like, there's an anomaly. Why is it?
Why? Yeah. It's like, girl, where did you not look up
just
the type of attorney for this? She didn't even try to Google. Lord mercy. And this is what happens. And then she, I think she just wanted to get away with not having paid rent. She just didn't pay rent, probably spent money on stupid stuff, and realized, oh, shoot, I'm 2-3 months behind. Let me put in a lawsuit so that I can get this halted for a minute while we're in litigation. And not think,
leverage to help negotiate.
Yeah. In the meantime, went 7 months and then didn't even go to court. So to me, I take that as, she was just trying to do this to get away with not having to pay rent, didn't want to have to pay the money at the time. And then you don't even go to court. You don't hire the right type of attorney. It's just, girl, you was just trying to avoid paying rent. It's so pathetic. And it's like, you were making money. You were working. I'm sure your employer at the time, I think it was TPUSA. I'm sure if you would have went to them and said, I need a little help, I'm horrible
hold
with
on
money.
a second. She was working for Turning Point when she did that?
I think she was. She was either working for PragerU or TPUSA. Y'all correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. When
so
she
this
filed that lawsuit.
I assume this was like right before she became a public figure. If she was a public figure and did this, then this is a whole new level of stupid. Like,
yeah, is that? Thank you. she was either working for PragerU or TPUSA. Y'all let me know when she filed the lawsuit against the apartment community. Can one of the mods let me know what year was that? If she was working, whether with PragerU or TPUSA. Confirm it in the chat for me, because she was working, making decent money.
One speaking engagement probably could have paid off.
Thank you. It's like, why didn't you go to your boss and say, listen, I suck when it comes to money. I've been hemorrhaging it. I went shopping. The lawsuit was in 2017. So was she working for?
It would depend. She was hired. I think it was somewhere between September and November 2000. I think it was September 2017. She was hired.
Okay, would have been PragerU.
She would have been PragerU. Yeah. So
Mama's confirming PragerU.
The amount of money these people make off speaking engagements, especially someone like her, like she can put on a good show like that.
Yeah.
Like, even if you needed the money, she could easily just do one or two speeches and pay that off. And like, that's the easiest work for just go in front of a bunch of people and talk. And this problem goes away. She wasn't willing to do that.
She wasn't trying to do that. And it's like, even if you were able to go to your boss at PragerU and say, I need help. Can I get an advancement or something just to catch up on my rent? I'm a couple months behind, made some crazy decisions, but I just need some help. I'm sure they would have done it. And it would have been just that. But no, she has to dig a hole for herself and then fall in that hole and then get mad when no one wants to pull her out the hole. It's like, no, you got yourself in a situation, grow up, get yourself out of it. Why would you go
gotten a loan too? Like, it would have had a bad rate, but with the amount of money she was making, it would have been fine. Like, all right, so maybe you have to take out a 20% loan. It'd be worth it to, like you can almost always in any situation get a loan, even if it's a bad one, rather than just stiffing your landlord.
Okay, exactly. And someone said she had just started degree 180.
Okay,
so then fundraising for that.
Yeah,
and then even with that, she joined TPUSA in November 2017.
November 2017.
So the lawsuit was filed in 2017, and she still could have went to them and said, "Hey, I need help with my rent."
Yeah. Sorry, so she just left the private equity firm, so she should have money, but she spent it like an idiot probably, and then found herself in trouble. Even if she found herself in trouble, in that situation, for the sake of yourself, what appears in an internet search, and just more like take out a loan. I know it sucks, but like that's a better option than that.
Yep. And do what you need to do like a grown adult. Like, it's just, I've been in a situation where I've been laid off and was out of work and got behind on rent.
It's the worst thing.
It's the worst. But
it's the most terrifying experience.
It is. But if you can't explain why you decide to go out and get some rental place for $3,500 a month, and then you decide, I'm not going to pay because something's growing on the wall. And it's like, well, that's not how that works. And that's not how the law works either. So what did you think you were accomplishing with that? And then you don't even go to court when you have the opportunity to present your case. So you did all this for nothing. You wasted time and tax dollars and the court's time, all for what? Just to get to this point where you're still told, grow up and be responsible and pay your bills. It's just, so, and it's another thing I wanted to ask with this whole, because when Charlie Kirk died, she went out and did this interview with CNN with Elle, and she said that she had sources, in the FBI, and then how ironic, the sloppy Joe Ken is what I call him, that he quits, and then he's like being linked to being her source because according to Miss Snow, Sloppy Joe Kent vetted Miss Snow.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then Miss Snow went on her show. What are the chances that he may have given Candice intel or information he probably should not have given her?
Oh, that's very high. I think. I think it's the most logical conclusion because, but in terms of personality type, you'll see that if you talk to military people or intel people, and then you look at like the type of people with that background that go into media and stuff. Like he immediately goes on the podcast circuit, but he's also trying to build himself up as a media figure. It's just very obvious.
Right.
Joe Kent was. And then now you hear, oh, there was a source talking to the woke right people that he later tries to build a platform off of. Like he definitely wants to have his own podcast or run for office or something. His positioning, it's careful, like it's all strategic. He wants a career doing that. That's the type of personality that does leak, because it builds the relationships for when you leave. And that's just that type of person likes hey, I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to give you the secret. And then there's something in it for him. The quiet guy that's at the CIA and the FBI and those types of people tend not to be the leakers. It's like the people that want to be in front of a camera, that are very, very social. Those are the ones that are more likely to be your leakers, unless there's blackmail on some, a special situation with like a foreign intelligence service. But if it's leaking to a reporter or leaking to an outsider that isn't an espionage type thing, that's the type of personality you're looking for. And so the way there was, again, it's a rollout. Like always look for these rollouts because they take time to prepare. The Candace's tour and the content of it, how she was hopping from place to place in Russia, like very perfectly. That's all, that's a rollout. It's a rollout for what? Joe Kent, he comes out, there's a rollout for what? So always pay attention to that, because that means they're advertising something to come whenever anybody does that, good or bad.
Yeah, and here's the thing that's concerning. I mean, he was the director for the Center for
the Counterterrorism Center, yeah.
And you can imagine if he, was someone that was confiding or even having conversations with Candace, and then she goes to Russia. I mean, the danger of what she could have been told and what she could have relayed to them regarding, information that requires a security clearance. Counterterrorism. You don't think that Russia will want to know what our strategies are for counterterrorism? That it's so sloppy. The way
Joe Kent has connection. If I'm trying to remember right, his second wife, the first wife passes away, then he has a new one. I don't want to misspeak, but I'm almost positive that she worked for one of the media outlets in that Russian Iranian like Gray Zone or one of them. Maybe someone in the chat can remind me, because I feel like that's right. But I'm not 100% positive because I haven't looked at it in for a couple of months. But I'm almost positive that his new wife worked for the Russian and Iranian state media apparatus, or the outlets that work in there. Like they may not be owned by him, but it's all sympathizers. So then that's something else. When I tell the Candace story and all the weird connections, like there's another one. It's always there.
And the thing is, it's like Candace is too stupid to realize that, above all things, she would just be a useful idiot for them. They don't care. Like she could be anyone, if they were in that same predicament with a George Farmer and were loudmouths and trying to be the black female spokesperson of conservative movements. That could be any other black woman, really. And think about this. Once she is no longer useful to them, then what? And I don't think she's asked herself that. Like, what are they going to do once they look at me and say, all right, well, you're not getting us views, you kind of dried up. You're not, we don't see you being an asset at this point. You're not getting us any information anymore.
She believes that she's on a divine mission and that Russia is a holy country that represents God correctly. You're not going to think like that because if you believe in God, God's going to take care of it because I'm his message. I'm his conduit, right? She said, I'm just a conduit. This is God's platform. And what's also funny is, two things in regards to Joe Kent and her communicating with him. In modern day with like the way espionage works, if she brought her phone to Russia,
yes, she did.
Everything's scooped up. So it doesn't even have to be this awkward thing where Russia says, Candace, tell us what you know. Like, she just has to go there with her phone. They scoop up everything. And that's the same like, they don't have to take the risk of having that conversation, her saying no, or it being picked up by U.S. wiretaps, Ukrainian, like, you don't have to take those risks. Just come here with your phone. And then we got everything. And what they have then is not just the secrets, because if you're trying to collect secrets in espionage, you kind of need to know what you want in order to ask for something, right? Like you don't know what you don't know. You suck up everything from a phone. Now you have everything. You don't know what you might need later, but you got it all, the whole data set. And those are going to be, she's talked to the president on the phone.
Yes.
All her text messages. So you just collected not on her, you collected on every single person she's ever had contact with and exists in the phone data. So that's like, in terms of political intelligence, like it's not just about military secrets. Let's just say none of that's on there. In terms of political intelligence for studying, other people of influence in America, maybe getting blackmail on them or just psychological profiles. There's just the information to break into bank accounts. Like maybe they need an address. They don't know it. Her friend gave an address. Like there's a million things you can do with those data points that come from the phone of a Candace Owens without her even agreeing to it. Like just come in, they scoop up the phone, and that's a Snowden situation. Like that's a huge delivery of intel. That's just really unbelievable. And then as for your comment about her humility, like, oh, why does she think these things? It's like, well, yeah, she does believe that she's divine in some sense.
Yeah,
because
like
she says, oh, it's not a platform. But what I noticed the other day is I put together the chronology and I was putting together the tweets and the statements of specifically the Russia linked people who are connected to her. And it blew my mind because going back to 2017, all the way up to the people she met with and didn't disclose in Russia, that in the second episode of my podcast, we found out more people she met with that she never told anybody and who they are. But you look at the tweets about it, because when I'm collecting it, initially I'm collecting just the data. I'm like, oh, they're talking, saying this, blah, 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 blah. But then when I actually sat down and I read the content of what they were doing and the statements, I was like, my God, every single Russia-linked person who initiates contact with her praises her in a way that is so cartoonish and over the top. It would make anyone else say, you're a stalker, you're a weirdo, get away from me. But the initial communication with each of these people, like that doesn't happen. Like it's too coincidental where, every single person connected to Russia who makes contact with her, the first thing they do is say things like, I believe you're going to go down as the biggest freedom fighter in history.
You're the greatest
you for
ever.
Rescuing not just black people's minds, but white people's minds. Like
invoking a racial tone.
If I could pull it up quickly, I would literally just read to you, according to the chronology, how each Russia-linked person builds a friendship with her, because it's the same crap every single time. John Mappin obsessively tweets to her for like a year and is saying how people in the UK, when she launched Brexit, could feel that it was a miracle coming from her to bless the people. Like the crazy stuff over and over again that normal people would never do that or think to do it. There had to be a psychological profiling somewhere, and someone shared it where they said, this is how you get to her, because no one, if you want to reach out to a Candace Owens, you're not going to take a gamble and be like, I have an idea. Let me be super weird with my praise, because now you just blew your opportunity. You only do that if you know it's going to work. So for some reason, John Mappin, the Russia-linked, actually China-linked too, Scientologist, reaches out to her. And the tweets from that year, 2017 into like early 2018, are just nuts with how much he kisses her butt. Like just, you can't believe what you're reading.
And I looked at it. I said, I thought it's like he gives off this impression like what I see from groomers, like what you hear about from someone grooming someone.
Yeah,
that's what John Mappin came off to me when we was doing the watch party on your second video.
Yeah,
I was like, it sounds like grooming, and then she fell for it. He's like, wow, it wasn't even that hard.
He's just like, somehow he knew that was going to work, so he just did it dozens of times in a row. So it wasn't even like, oh, I did that and it didn't work. It was like, I know it's going to work, so he just kept doing it. And then following that, you look at the other Russia-linked people that praised her, like compared to the normal people that praise her, because you're famous, people are going to kiss your butt and give you a compliment. Of course, you compare that level, and then you look at the Russia-linked ones and what they're all saying, and it's all similar. Like SNL character, like you just don't talk to one human does not talk to another human that way unless they're a member of a cult. And so you look at John Mappin, even Elizabeth Lane, who is the so-called independent journalist who has connections to Russian intelligence, who got in her inner circle publicly. The praise on her is just like, like she interview, like Candace gives her an interview, and at the end she goes, "Oh, Candace, I got something to tell you. I haven't told anybody. Charlie's been coming to me in dreams too."
Oh my God, it was so
okay.
cringe.
So that's contrived, and Elizabeth Lane, one of her favorite conspiracy theories, JFK assassination things, and she says to Candace, "Think about how manipulative this is." She goes, "Candace, tell me if this is like Charlie when he came to me in the dream, even though I didn't know him. He first gave me a hug and encouraged me. Does that sound like him?" Yeah, of course. So of course, Candace is going to say yes. Now you've kind of trapped her and you've gotten her to affirm you. And then she goes, "What he told me was he was killed by the same people who killed JFK, which in her world that means Israel. But it just so happens to be a comparison to JFK, which is her favorite topic. Like, come on." And then she praises Candace over and over again. You should also see how she acted around Tucker Carlson. Creepy.
Yeah, right?
Now you go from there. Oh, you saw it? It was nuts.
I thought his wife. I saw snippets of it because I can't bear Tucker, but I was like, his wife gonna be real mad at this guy. What is it? His wife gonna be looking like, y'all flirting or what?
He handled it about as much of the champ as you could in that situation. Like he didn't really flirt back. He was polite.
No, but she was, oh Lord, I said she was flirting with him.
Yeah. It was super weird. It was super weird. And so that's Elizabeth Lane. Then I looked at what the Russian propaganda has been saying about her before, Candace, before and then during her trip. All the same stuff where you like me, I'd be like, all right, you gotta turn it down. This is awkward. Nope, it's just praising her. And then the people who she met with in Russia, who we disclosed on the second episode of the podcast, you look at what they were saying, and they were like, they said, "Oh, her visit could only have been done by Mother Mary." Like all this insane cultist stuff, and I'm like, somewhere in there, all the Russia Link people are praising her in the same normally counterproductive, weird way. That's telling. That's telling. I mean, that's shared knowledge. It has to be.
Exactly. I was gonna say it's like a script, and they're taking notes, and then they're like, okay, well, she's not gonna change up, with this cult of personality and this grandeur narcissism mentality she has. It's like praise and adoration kind of goes hand in hand. It's like the first thing you have to start it off with this positive reinforcement. And even if you try to say something constructive to just get her to think about something, you have to phrase it like a question and not necessarily as if it's constructive criticism, because then she'll just, be offended and turned off. But that shows how fragile her dumb ego is. And it's just like, they do this and it's like copy and paste, and they come through the chat, they come in the live stream, they leave comments like this. This is how they are. Period. And it keeps her other cult members, the dumb bots are copy and pasting this. That heavy reinforcement is what she's surrounded by 24/7.
Right.
So if you try to do an interview like that, they know this is the only way to go, because this is all she's being exposed to, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, X, in person from other people. It's this 24/7 reinforcement of this cult of personality, praise and adoration. And that's what is so. And when she realizes at some point, all of this is going to falter at some point.
Oh, yeah.
If you realize that's happening, then she'll turn to drastic measures. That's when she's really going to start showing this level of dangerous narcissism, where she's going to start acting out on something, because now you got to step it up a notch to keep people's attention. Now you got to go from here to here to here. And it just poses a greater threat, even the more. When she said in her pregnancy announcement that somehow being pregnant with a boy makes her want to be more physically violent and get into physical fights, I was like, okay, so you telling us that you gave George a black eye? Like,
right? Yeah.
Like, why would you say that?
Why? Yeah, why was it expressing it that way on your mind?
Like,
why say it at all, and why say it in that way? Like, it probably. Because she is very. I don't know if she thinks she's a good liar, but like, I'm not a body language expert, but I'm pretty good at it just from my background. I've had to read a lot about it and do it over and over again professionally. And and she is an easy case. I mean,
Yes.
ooh, she's easy. And it's like the tells are so repetitive, but that one that you point out, I hadn't thought about that. You're right. That's absolutely a tell. Yeah.
And she actually has a history of she's been charged with harassment,
stalking and stuff. Yeah.
You know, she has this stalkish. She admitted to stalking Erica Kirk. You don't have sources in direct contacts living in people's residential building unless you are keeping up with their every move. That is a whole felony in the state of Arizona. But she doesn't care. Once again, she thinks she's above the rule of law. And, you know, thinks somehow that's just freedom of speech. No, that's you admitting to committing a felony. Like, you're aiding in what, you know, is felonious criminal behavior. You don't, that woman deserves the right to live in peace without you having to stalk her and to know her every move. Like, it's absurd.
Yeah.
That level of obsession is what you have to reciprocate. So when you talk about when you see and hear these people giving her this constant praise and adoration, it's because what she gives out is this obsessive behavior. And that's what she has to come back to her like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she may not even care. Like, she probably watches me.
May not pay attention. You're right. You're right. That might be her filtering mechanism. It's like,
it's like
all these people want to contact me. All the ones that stand out are the ones that are saying, what was it? That she was liberating white and black minds from slavery somehow. Like just this unbelievable stuff. Alexander Dugin, the Russian intelligence guy who like targets MAGA and Christians and Americans. And she has 2 of his books, which is amazing because like he's a terrible writer. So to have 2 of his books is like, it's just really fringe and out there. It's like really weird for her to have 2 of his books. Like not just agree with them, but have 2 of his books. That indicates it's deeper, regardless of whether she met him or not. But you should look at the stuff he has said. I forgot about that one. So we have John Mappin, who like says creepy, weird stuff. The guy connected to the Russian government that she stayed with in Moscow, the guy who arranges people moving to Russia, doing that. You have Elizabeth Lane doing that, being over the top praising her. And then Alexander Dugin, who's like the most authoritative of them all, because we know he's an influencer. Like his job is to stir up trouble in America and to build bridges with conservatives and Christians and to manipulate them. And you look at what he says about her, it's like, he says she's on the right side of the cosmic battle, because he's like very like metaphysical. He tries to frame everything as like spiritual and stuff. But he says over and over again that, she has like almost spiritual powers. He backed her up when she said she had dreams of Charlie Kirk. He was like, no, the dreams are important, is what he said. Saying she's beautiful, saying she's super smart. Oh, the quote, that's the quote I was going for. She goes, Candace, Alexander Dugin said, Candace is right about everything. Like, what? And then she stopped World War III. Like Candace Owens stopped World War III somehow.
Oh, dude. You know, God has to have a laugh every now and then. I'm sure he laughed it out. Yeah.
Like, I almost wonder if God's experimenting where he's like if he's like, you know what, Satan, just for kicks, I'm going to let you mess with this group of people, but do your dumbest stuff, and let's just see if it lands. Like, I'm tired of the holy war between heaven and hell, Satan. I'm just going to just this group of people. We'll strike a deal. I'll lay off and I'll let you but you have to do stupid stuff. I want to see your stupidest, weirdest temptations. Let's see what happens. And it's like, this is what manifested.
Yeah, Candace. Oh, man, I can't believe anybody fell for that. Candace crash landing on our planet, claiming to be an alien, and starting a cult. Oh, man.
I'm still waiting to see if I'm hoping, like if I had a bot army, and I don't, because Elizabeth Lane has been claiming I have a foreign finance bot army.
Wait, dude,
I would use it at least to promote myself. Like what bot army? You think I built a bot army just to insult you? You think I would use it to promote myself when I'm poor? Like, come on. Like,
exactly.
But if I had a bot army, I would, or if I had a lot of money so I could do however it is that people reach Candace. I'm not sure if they pay money or like I'm not sure how she picks out who to read, but if people just constantly bombard her with, what's your position on Scientology? Have you ever practiced it? Because she might say, I'm not a Scientologist, because they carve out, as you know, they'll be like, oh, I'm not a Scientologist, but I practice it. it like is kind of, I'm a Christian, but I'm a Scientologist, or they'll say I'm a Scientologist and a Christian, and then sometimes leave out the Scientologist part. But if she could be bombarded with questions that really narrow down, like, what's your position on Scientology? Have you ever practiced it? Do you believe it to any extent? Because if you say, are you a Scientologist? I could see her weaseling out of that with you say, oh, it's not really yes or no. But if somehow fans, or I don't know, it's just somehow there's a campaign where it's just that's the question.
Yeah,
I would love to find out the answer, because that might be yet again like an amazing plot twist where it's like, oh, it's not just a Scientologist linked to Russia. It's like a lot of the weird stuff that she says is occultish type stuff. That
it is, exactly.
So I don't know if all, you would know better than I would. I don't know if all of it is connected to Scientology. Like when she talks about exiting, her and Charlie would like exit their body and
they don't believe
out. Is that Scientology or no?
They believe in reincarnation. They don't believe, because we do Scientology Sundays here in the LLC.
Yeah, that's
just to kind of learn more about just different various cults. And what they do believe in is, they don't believe in heaven or hell or God or the aspect of God. They believe in, Thetans, and these Thetans take possession of your body, and it's just
right.
Xenu is like the head honcho. It's ridiculous. It's like, so you still believe in like one supreme ideal being of some sort, and some possession of spirit of some sort, and so it's just the aspect of death. It's just for them reincarnation. They don't see kids as kids. They see kids as smaller adults. So you can imagine how that goes when children are left alone with adults and what they're left to do with these kids. And, they have children raising and caring for babies. Of course, they don't pay their workers even minimum wage. It's laughable what they give their workers, employees. And I've said, and I've done a couple videos where I've said, I can see Candice having one foot in the door of Scientology.
Yeah.
Simply because that it's like at some point, all of this fealty and loyalty to John Mappin and him introducing her to George Farmer and his parents billionaires, at some point the bill is gonna come due. It's like, okay, how are you gonna show him all this, kudos for all this stuff that he, all this influence he's had in your life? I could see her becoming a Scientologist. I could see her doing it, because now it's going to become more overwhelming, and with the influence from John Mappin, and then if she moves behind a Russia, which we all hope for, she never comes back. But if she does do something like that, she's already, halfway in the door of it with the ideology. She just doesn't believe in. She claims she doesn't believe in science. She doesn't believe that the Earth is round or anything. She doesn't believe dinosaurs exist. It's like, biology goes over her head. So to an aspect, you don't have to believe in science, because they're not hardcore knowledgeable of science. They just believe in this Xenu and volcanic, this crash that created Thetans, and to that extent. But in these audits, but that's just it's like a scam to get money out of people.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can see her doing it, because it would not be of any consequence to her. There's no price she would have to pay.
Well, look at what they say about Tom Cruise. I don't know if have you seen the video where he's like doing the almost like Nazi-esque pledge to L. Ron Hubbard because they give him an award? It's one of the creepiest videos I've ever seen.
I think we saw a documentary about that.
But there's an actual clip on YouTube. Maybe someone in the chat can post a link, because it's I just want to see your reaction to it if you haven't seen it, because I think it'll be hilarious.
Oh my goodness!
Where Tom Cruise is getting this like big giant oversized medal on stage. Yeah.
I saw it. No, I was like, what the heck is going on?
Well, I thought it was that's what I think is going on in Canada. Like, that's the equivalent of the people praising Candace. Like, so the approach is very, very similar. The reaction where little short Tom Cruise is like he broadens out his shoulders like he's a badass. I mean, he is a badass, but he's acting, he's like overacting it, and that just reminds me of her, like when she speaks with authority. So I mean, I can see the Scientology influence, like not just in John Mappin, but some of the personality features there.
Yeah.
But I know Scientology hates psychiatry. Have they ever gone so far as to say, anti-science? Like, is it possible? Like, I'm wondering if that's almost a code or just like Candace was like, oh, I'm anti-psychiatry because of Scientologist. And then that became, I'm anti-science. Or is that too much for Scientologists? Do you know?
Are they? They don't believe in psychiatry. I think it's more so the aspect of someone telling you outside of the cult that something is wrong with you. You know, doctors, stuff like that. They don't believe in any of that. So,
but the terminology of science isn't real or anti-science. Have you ever heard that from like the ranks of Scientology before?
I mean, them not believing in going to doctors or psychiatrists or anything like that. I've never heard them say anything that indicate that they believe in science. So that's why I said,
"Oh, yeah, okay, all right." They haven't said they're anti-science, but they've never been affirmative.
Yeah, I don't get the idea that they believe in science like that. So I just think they, you know, their approach to what they want to call a religion, it's just more. It's not based on the aspect of what we know as spirituality. Like they don't they believe in reincarnation. Like they recycle and live what they sign contracts to this cult where you're giving up 1,000 years. Like what? You know, you don't live, a human being does not live 1,000 years, but if you believe in reincarnation, somehow you can fulfill that so-called.
Why isn't it unlimited? Why 1,000?
I don't know.
It's just weird.
Like, yeah, what? Like, why is there a Xenu? What is a Xenu?
You know what? So someone said in the chat. Well, first of all, someone's saying I saw a Family Guy episode, I guess, about this. I actually didn't. If you want to send me the link, RyanMauro.com, and you can send it, or Twitter or whatever, because I'd love to see it. But someone said that they think Scientologists are against medicine. Is that?
Yeah, they're against medicine, against treatment.
They're against medicine.
They don't go to doctors. They don't go to. They don't believe in going to see psychiatrists, psychologists.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Cruise jumping up and down on Oprah's couch. They don't believe in depression.
Yeah.
They don't believe in medical diagnosis. None of that.
That anti-science stuff has to be Scientologist. And I don't like what else draws like that's so unconventional. That comes from somewhere else because she's not a philosopher that would be like, here's my idea, anti-science. Like that came from somewhere else. I'm confident she's being influenced by Scientology based on you guys telling me that. There's no other. Where else could that possibly come from that she's associated?
She didn't grow up like that. Think about this. She took her kids.
That would explain why her mental health is so bad too, right? I mean, she's not on medicine.
She even take her kids to a doctor. This is why she, kind of fueled these. I think the whole COVID conspiracy theories were just something she wanted because she knew she could get a lot of attention with it. But if John Mappin was grooming her that whole time and having this influence over her, I think that could add to it. But I just think Candace is just, even in her own right, just conjuring up these conspiracy theories just to be the antagonist, just to keep that attention because she knows it's underwork. It's like half the stuff she says, it's like, where is she getting this stuff from? This is just you speaking with mediums, and you believe a medium about Brigitte Macron.
Wait, she said she went to a medium
and anything else, huh?
I didn't know she said she went to a medium.
No. She listened. I think she did watch the interview about a medium regarding Brigitte Macron.
Oh, the original. Yeah. Those
where it started in France.
Who were Russia connected?
It started with a medium. The medium.
Well, I think Russia saw it was Natasha Ray and then someone else, right? Was with the medium, and that's where it started. Was the original video was this woman, Natasha Ray, and then someone else, and they started the Brigitte Macron thing, and then the guy Candace normally cites is the guy that wrote a book and expanded on it.
Exactly.
But it actually came from those two people. And then, you might know from my podcast, but for people that don't know, because this is another crazy thing. So it turns out, like the Macrons, they sue Natasha Ray, the originator of the theory. Yeah. She loses. She starts saying the same things about Russia that Candace is saying, like fitting the same script, because Russia has a specific criteria of what you have to believe in order to get in if you want safe harbor from them. So Natasha Ray starts saying Putin is wonderful, great Christian values, all stuff Candace saying now. And then Russia says, and she says she's also going to do this, that Russia's going to give her political asylum because the Macron suitor won. Natasha Ray starts praising Russia and says, I'm going to go to Russia. Russia actually says, yeah, we'll accept you. But then it gets overturned. So now it's still she's still staying in Europe and fighting it out in courts and seeing how it goes. But we already know she started the political asylum process to get to Russia. So there you have, even there, the Brigitte Macron theory originates with someone with probable Russian ties at the time, but if not at the time, then it came later. Then the Erica Kirk conspiracy theories happen. You can source those to Russia-linked sources as well. Russia amplifies them. So this all seems new to us, but it's the same factory from the Russian perspective because we saw it with Brigitte Macron. Now they're doing it against Erica Kirk because now Russian media is going at her straight. First, it was just dancing, but now Russia wants to destroy Erica Kirk. So is Iran. So what you're seeing is actually like Brigitte Macron, that whole thing with Russia and Candace was almost like a dry run, unintentional dry run for this, what you're seeing now. But that also tells us, like, who is the person whose situation is most like Candace right now? It's Natasha Ray. Right. Natasha Ray originated the theory, gets sued by the Macrons for the theory. Right. And she gets ready to hightail to Russia. Candace Owens gets sued by the Macrons for the same theory, then starts praising Russia, starts, in my opinion, making clear preparations to go there. That alone, like that what they call like an analogical case, like they're both similar. It's like, all right, well, what happened with the person who is whose situation is most similar to that of Candace? And it's flee to Russia, and then Candace starts going to Russia and I think doing the things necessary to flee to Russia. And my theory is, that's why I'm so confident in my theory. Once I saw what she did in Russia and how that all was going on, I'm like, the case is strong here. Because usually if I don't know something, I try to, I'm very conservative in the type of things I say. But this one, I was like, I can't prove it, but man, my case is strong.
Yeah, it is. And it's probably been going on for the last at least 6 months, going back to when she first said she would rather be Russian. And it just kind of lined up. And I was like, well, there it is. It's not her going to Russia, doing that media tour and all of that was not something she planned overnight.
Right. It took when she first said she was going to St. Petersburg, Russia, what happened there was I attacked her on Newsmax with David Harris Jr. And then they had me on. David Harris Jr. didn't even know I was going to do that. But I just bombed them with the stuff about Candace and Russia because it was just the opportunity was there and it was too good and it made me laugh. And so I did it, and she responded. I knew she was going to probably see it, and that's when she said, "I'm going to, it's okay. I'm pro Russia. I'm going to go to St. Petersburg," but she doesn't give a date. She just says, "I'm definitely going to go to St. Petersburg at some point." And but then if you look at what happened 5 days prior, like she's publicly reacting to me, but look at what happened 5 days. I think it was about 5 days prior to when she said that. Brian Harpole filed the lawsuit. Yeah. So like you file a lawsuit that everyone knows she's going to lose that one. Unless she settles, she might not technically lose. She might just pay him off with a settlement. Yeah, she's in trouble. The Macron's one, she's probably going to lose too, but she has more room to fight with on that one. The Harper one, she's done. So he files it, and then 5 days later, the defendant is like, "Oh, Russia is great, and I'm going to go there at some point." Like anybody would be like, "Are you kidding me?" Of course, you're trying to. You got hit with a lawsuit, and 5 days later, you say, "You know what, everybody? I've been thinking about going to Russia." Like,
but she had been planning that trip for months. She knew she was going there 6 months ago. It's like, girl, bye, Felicia.
Yeah, you couldn't even wait a week.
This is the thing. It's like Russia is if that is the trend, they're going to start, propping themselves up to be the asylum country to escape lawsuits.
Yeah, no, that already is the case.
To get lawsuits.
No, they're already doing that. Steven Seagal, the martial artist with the manly ponytail, he ran into tax trouble. So he went to Russia, and Putin gave him citizenship. So he skipped the process. And what's so funny about that is that so Steven Seagal flees to Russia because of his tax and financial problems.
Right.
But part of his money, I guess he transferred to his manager, said, you're an independent entity. So like the courts can't get you. The courts got it because it was still in the US and it was to an American. So he screwed up. He lost part of his money that way. And then in Russia, I actually don't think the Russian government's lying about this. He didn't pay the Russians the proper tax. and so he got penalized. And I don't know if they actually took it or he's fighting it or whatever. I know right now the giant house that Putin gave him, he's selling.
Oh no!
So, which is like you gotta be the dumbest person in the world to be like, and like, you start trying to screw over your tax haven. You're really asking for trouble. But when Candace, another meeting, she didn't disclose this. Like Candace, you meet Steven Seagal. She's posting pictures about like the Russian version of Starbucks. She's like, oh, look at that. Pictures of kids. Oh, look at that. But then she meets with Steven Seagal. She's in the same room as him because I found it in a video that she never put out there. That one of the people she met with in Russia to show off posted a video of him with Candace Owens, and he quickly goes like this in the room they're in. And I'm like, no, that's not. Oh my God, it's Steven Seagal. Like right on the nose of like a suspicious meeting. Like, she goes there and Steven Seagal's in the room and no one, they purposely don't broadcast it. To her, it's worth posting about the thing that's like the Russian version of Starbucks, but she's in the same room as Steven Seagal and is like,
they don't say anything.
I'm not going to say anything. So there's a reason for that. No. I mean, if you're her, if there's one noticeable name you want to meet with when you're in Russia, if you want to hide your assets, it's him because he did it mostly successfully, but also screwed up. You're going to want to get your advice from him. So the fact that she's in the same room as him and then doesn't talk about it and there's no pretext, it's like, what? Well, oh, he's just in the room. And he gained a lot of weight, so she might have thought like, if the video gets out, no one will recognize him. But I saw a video of him speaking at Russian events, so I knew what he looked like. Like that's just...
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It was sad way to go out, Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is pay your taxes. How do you think that you get to live in a country and not contribute to that economy? You gotta pay your taxes. Like seriously, so what is he gonna do? Because now if he's not paying taxes in Russia, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna garnish his money. You don't think they're gonna?
I think that's probably they're probably gonna take it. If they haven't, they might have taken it. I forget. I think they might have confiscated it. But then he has other money and like he's fine. And from the Russian perspective, it's like, what do you gain from locking up Steven Seagal for not paying not paying taxes on the money that he's hiding from paying taxes? Like,
and then he was like, see, y'all couldn't even collect the taxes when he came here. So y'all didn't get the money out when he came here.
Oh, okay. The irony of just like Mr. Tough Guy Steven Seagal in all the action movies with a ponytail, and it's like, oh man, he might kill 100 people in an action movie, and then it's like you have a lot of money, you got to pay some taxes, and he's like, oh, I better get the hell out of here,
run out of here. Yeah. What a wuss.
Yeah, no, just like man, you're so rich. You couldn't just pay your taxes and pay the judgment and whatever. Exactly. But yeah,
it's the same thing with Candace. Just pay the settlement. You're gonna.
So he'll advise her, like, oh, make sure don't leave your money with your manager like he did. Like you got to move anything that's on paper out of the U.S. So I'm sure he's gonna advise her on that.
That's a whole lot of LLCs she's got to go clear up because she said herself she has a lot of LLCs.
Wait, she said that?
Yes, in a whole video. I snipped it. She said I have several LLCs.
Oh, several. Yeah, because I knew she has
several LLCs.
3.
Yeah, and what she does is she get registered agents.
Yeah,
she'll get RAs for them. Or attorneys to be like the registered agents for those LLCs, kind of like that battery trust lane that Laura, spoke of. That's just one of them. She got Candace Owens LLC, got Georgetown Inc. She got a couple other LLCs that want to connect it to Parlor Inc. So she has a few LLCs where she could easily just slide assets. But now you're talking about shifting those assets to a foreign LLC and getting it overseas. Like you got to gather them all up.
I don't think it's that hard, actually. I think
think it's hard, but it's. I feel like she probably would forget about something. Like, because
I know.
It's just like all in a hurry and a rush.
Yeah, her error rate is flawless. It's like she has a 100% error rate on decisions. What's your record on decisions? 100-0 against me.
I know, right?
Like 100% against her. Yep. So yeah, she's gonna screw it up. I'm sure
she's gonna mess up big time.
There's gonna be something, but unless she lets Andrew Tate take over everything. But no, that would require making a correct decision. So that's not gonna happen. Right, so there'll be something that screws up. But once you start seeing, if she starts selling property, I don't know if there's a way we can detect. I mean, there's probably a way that, in theory, you can detect her opening up anything in the UAE, Russia, UAE probably, because that's the easiest one. Like they really encourage, like Russian oligarchs who live in Russia put their assets in Dubai. The Iranian government was at war with Dubai, and they hid their assets in Dubai. Like so, everybody does this. It's a very well established thing. But usually, in all or most cases, you do have to go there in person. And so one of the really weird things that I found that was that there were so many weird things I put in my podcast that like there's a lot of stuff that people miss because it's just so many mind-boggling things. Is that yes, Andrew Tate, the family friend who is like the worst person on earth. And she's never explained like, why are you friends with this person? How have you known him for so long?
George is best friends with him. That's it. Because George is best friends with him, and that's it.
Yeah, but why? And
why? I don't know. Because George is evil. George is not as evil as he is.
He has to be involved in evil because there's like nothing. Yeah. All Andrew Tate isn't the type to be like, oh, I'm gonna go feed the homeless on the weekend. It's all all the time. Everything he does 24/7 is evil. Yeah. So if you have any friendship with him, he's gonna have blackmail on you. You're gonna be involved in bad stuff. But anyway, like that was enough. But then I was like, oh, let me see what she said about UAE and Dubai because. That's really important. Shifting your assets. She couldn't possibly be saying things that would clue me into that. Nobody's that dumb. No, I found it. And so I tweet. I go on. You search United Arab Emirates, UAE, and Dubai. And I guess she thought she was slick, but she's not.
She's not at all.
I know that she like Middle Eastern comparisons of Middle Eastern countries' internal laws is not something she has a history of studying, nor does she have any apparent interest in the international relations between UAE and France. But what I found were two comments where one, and this one is a precursor to this other one. I know what I'm about to say is not that dynamic, but you'll see why it is in a moment. She responds to, of all the people that post to her, celebrities, non-celebrities, influencers, she responds to one that's talking about, oh, well, where's it safe for Christian women to go in the Middle East? And she goes, Jordan and the UAE. Now, that may be true. I mean, it's more than them, but so, okay, it's true, but it's not all of them. She only mentioned those two. Why'd she respond at all? Because she's not tweeting every second. What?
Right.
Why is that on her mind where she's like, I feel passionate enough to address that? And I'm like, that's weird. And then I found in 2024, I think it was August 2024, UAE gets mad at France because France arrests the Russia-linked head of Telegram. And UAE gets mad at that because UAE likes anything crypto and like anything that's like kind of like underground is like something they're a fan of. It's their business model. And so
black market.
Yeah, right. Oh, and for those that don't know, when I say UAE, Dubai is part of UAE. It's not two separate countries. So we're talking about the same country. Right. And so Dubai, UAE gets mad at France because France arrests the head of Russia-linked Telegram on all these like horrible charges. And some people who like Telegram just instantly say, oh, it's all BS. I don't think it is based on when I look at what the charges were. I think the French have additional information we're not aware of. But anyway, so UAE gets mad and says, you know what, France? We're canceling our order of 80 fighter jets from you. This is like a story that is like off. It's not a headline. It's weird for someone like her to even know about it. Like the relationship between the UAE and France is not, there's no reason to think that her hobby is studying something like that.
Yeah, no, it's not even reading.
Right. But her reaction to it is is something like, good for UAE. Maybe it's time to move there. Like, so she's not agreeing with it, but she makes this really odd statement of like as if she was looking for the opportunity to be like, to set up a pretext and like warm the waters and be like, oh, I want to go or do something in UAE. It was a really weird thing. Not just, oh, you agree and why, just like, I agree with that. Maybe it's time to move there. And then like just drops it and moves on. And I'm like, that's a tell. That means moving there was on her mind. And it's important enough to her that she blurted it out at the wrong, she was premature with launching her pretext. It was just too weird.
It's out of nowhere. She might as well just say, I'm moving there out of nowhere. If you're going to go and try to take that route, I mean, if the influence is someone like an Andrew Tate and she refuses to admit he's at least been criminally charged, like you're not even trying to be honest about what's going on with that clown.
Right.
Then I can see her having, notions of moving there, her and George moving there, or, maybe being close enough to where they can still go to Russia, do whatever for Russia.
That's what I think. It's probably, they might want to, you might as well have some residency there just for, it makes sense to, even if you're not living there, because they have like a golden visa. They have a lot of protection for businesses. Like establishing a residency, even if you don't live there, could make a lot of sense. Especially if you're setting up your assets. But I think in most cases, you have to go there in person for biometrics and stuff for most of what you want to do, which is why I figured when she said after her family vacation to Russia, she's like, oh, in just a month, we're doing another family vacation. And I bet people are going to have something to say about that too. I was like, I think it's Dubai. Now it ended up not being Dubai. I didn't say I knew it was Dubai. I just said it was just she's saying she wouldn't say what the country was. And she said people would react negatively. But she was mocking those critics, but she was doing it prematurely. She was doing it preemptively, I mean. And I was like, that it would make sense for that to be Dubai. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out she's like, oh, I was in Spain and there was something in Dubai, so I decided to go there real quick. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, she's
gonna probably go and just see.
Even if it isn't, she probably just has to go there at some point. Is my point. So just be on the lookout for that, even though it may not be this vacation that she's doing. But it's still a little weird to me, the Spain thing. Just not because you're going to Spain. That's kind of normal with George Farmer being European and all that. It's just the timing when the preliminary hearing for Tyler Robinson, like that's supposed to be a miniature Super Bowl for her podcast. Her podcast is almost entirely about that trial and the preliminary hearing. You're going to go on vacation during that? Like that's weird. And it comes right after your previous family vacation that you lied about and was really suspicious to Russia. And she said, oh, I'm going to another country in just a month on a family vacation while she's pregnant. And I'm sure I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm sure people will criticize it. So the Spain thing is still unsettles me a bit because the timing of all that is like weird. Maybe it ends up being nothing, but it's just weird. I'm just saying there's smoke there. I don't know if there's fire, but there's smoke.
I think if she's doing this and the goal is to move or to, okay, let me just see where I can go to move some assets. And you got to go to some of these places in person. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Candace thinks that we care. Like, I know I've said, if you move to Russia, girl, don't come back. Just stay behind over there. Like, bye, Felicia.
I want her to be here, actually.
Just move over there and don't come back. We don't care. Like, that's just, why does her and these dumb bots and her cult members want us to care? We don't care. We're not mad. We just want you to stay over there.
Well, she wants to retain the audience for when she goes there. That's the thing. She's trying to know. She has to make that, if she's going to flee there, she has to make it appear as natural and logical as possible, which is why she was posting things about, oh, here's the Russian equivalent of Starbucks. Tastes just as good. And she actually says at one point, oh, everything in Russia is just like America. If I was her Russian propaganda advisor, I would say you're going a little bit too far there. Because everybody knows, like, first of all, not everything's the same. Like, nobody's going to believe it. But secondly, it's so clear what she's trying to do. She's advertising. Russia wants to get Americans and Westerners to move to Russia to escape the woke, because they make it sound like conservatives and Christians are like being hung in the streets by the evil left. And they try to make it sound like like literally. Like if your kids go to public school, they might be turned into transgender, like crazy stuff. So Russia's big thing is trying to say we're the true Christian conservative country, and look at all the Americans and Europeans who are conservatives and Christians who are moving here because of that. And so when she says, "Oh, Russia is exactly like America," that's their words, that's their script. But also for her specifically, she does have to make it look as natural and logical for her to go, so people have a reason to believe she's going there besides escaping a lawsuit. Or if she does do it and everyone's like, "Oh, she's escaping a lawsuit," well, she needs to convince her cult members, not us, but her cult members.
Her cult, exactly.
Yeah, that she's genuinely being persecuted. So she can say, "Look, I am genuinely being persecuted because I and all these other people, Americans and Christians and conservatives, also have fled and are fleeing to Russia with me." And that I do believe you will see a lot of people move to Russia off the basis of that propaganda, because that one corner of the internet that she taps into are the type of people to do something insane like that. So I think it worked. That's why I actually want to stop her if there's some way to do it from going overseas, because I think the level of danger from her greatly elevates, because the borders in some sense don't exist anymore because of the internet. So it's not the equivalent of like putting her in a locker in high school and just like throwing away the key and be like, "I don't have to deal with you anymore." It's like, no, you're gonna have to deal with her, and there might be a slight lull, but like she might come back bigger than ever, because now you have a global audience, you have constant controversy, and the Russian government at that point can put more resources blatantly into promoting her. Right now, it's all like a little covert. So she'll have a massive apparatus distributing her content all over the place. It's, I mean, she more than anything, I believe, but cannot prove, the thing she wants most, that she fantasizes, is being crowned as the anti-Erica Kirk and having her equivalent of what Erica experienced at Charlie's Memorial. I think that's when she really began losing it, because the person that she was jealous of, that she wanted to bring down, is, Trump. She used to love Trump. Candace used to love Trump. It's like, oh, you're on the stage. The whole world is watching. The whole world is watching. You have Erica Kirk up there next to Trump with the big American flag. And Erica Kirk knocks out of the park, gives what I consider to be a historical speech that, I mean, just an astonishing, amazing thing that she did. And then Candace is sitting over there. I mean, you couldn't come up with something that would bother a personality like Candace's more than that. So now look at what she's doing. Oh, Erica Kirk has the American flag. All right, she owns it. And she's a Protestant Christian, Zionist, Christian Zionist. Now look at how Candace is positioning herself. I don't even know she may not even be fully aware she's doing this.
She's aware. She's trying to be oppositional to what Erica Kirk represents and stands for.
But do you think I don't know if she knows it's coming from an illogical place. I think she's like, here's why it makes sense. But I don't know if she knows at the core of it how much of it is jealousy and resentment and all of that. And she wants to make it become the anti-Erica Kirk, but also make it a good thing so she can have her own stage and have, all right, you got Trump, I've got Putin. You have Christian Zionism and pro-Western Christianity. I've got Tsarist Christianity with the enemies of Israel. And I also have a stage. And so I think she may not even realize it. I think that's the image that plays in her mind when she thinks of, possibly moving to Russia or spending a lot of time there, but probably moving there, is being crowned, having that crown and that stage.
It's just, it's like the highlight of her life. It's like to have that moment, where she has this climax. And I think one of the things she said when Charlie Kirk first died was that, she was looking for, she thought he was going to bring her back on the stage to TPUSA. And it's like, oh, how dare he dies before he's able to bring me back on stage. And it's like, well, who said he was serious about that? You took a text out of context.
Yeah. He had plenty of time to do that.
It's not gonna bring you back. No, he wants you to leave him alone. Like, and knowing that he wanted TPUSA to go to Erica Kirk if anything happened to him. He would have what would be his reason to bring Candace Owens back on the stage with him? other than just for her to have that moment, but it just be short-lived for that moment. It would not result in any long-term promises of anything. She wouldn't have been guaranteed to inherit TPUSA. She worked there for 19 months. People want to make it seem as if she built something. No, she was his employee. That's it. Yeah. She just became
just for a short period of time. People forget how short that was. It was like
19 months.
November 2017 to May 2019.
Right.
That's almost. I mean, it's technically an employee, but like that's like an internship.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, you weren't there long enough to do anything monumental.
How mad would you be if we started a campaign where everyone referred to her as having been Charlie's intern? Like
we gotta do a photo.
That would make her matter.
That'll work. Can I get a photo of that? Candice as Charlie Kirk's intern.
But when you were Charlie's intern.
Make that a thumbnail. Oh, that's such a thumbnail.
Get some serious journalist that he's like interviewing her like in a very serious way. Trick the Russians into doing it. Use the Ukrainians to trick the Russians, being like, no, Candace, tell us. You know, we look at your impressive history. Tell us about when you were basically Charlie's intern. Like it would be.
I was Lady Luck told you. Did Lady Luck tell you that? How dare you? Oh, she would ooze green ooze.
You get so mad.
That girl would start melting.
You'd be like, you know, from the movie Alien, where the one alien's mouth goes big and then another alien pops out with another mouth to come out to fight. That's what would happen if somebody said that to her in an interview.
Oh, Candace, she would spit that hot fire and be like lava.
She might die.
Girl, I know I said she gonna melt. Nah, you said that you were that girl. She would have a fit and a tantrum for the rest of the year. Oh, dear Lord,
so good.
That's why we're gonna get a thumbnail of it.
Yeah.
Candace, you can kick rocks.
It's such a good thing I'm a Christian because I get these ideas and I can get upset. The idea of causing a spectacle or a prank is something I can get very elaborate and obsessive with because it's like the most fun thing to me for some reason. And it's like I'll spend months preparing a good prank on somebody if I have to. If I didn't have my Christian faith, I don't know how, but somehow I would get people to refer to Candace as Charlie's intern.
The intern.
Like,
I'm down for it. Y'all want to hashtag the intern? We're gonna do a whole thumbnail, but put that up as a background image. Candace, I want you to be so pissed off every time you look at my show. You dumb help.
Charlie's intern.
Oh, that'll be good fun. Oh my goodness. I think so. To wrap this up, because we've been at this for 2 hours, you all. It's been a lot of fun over here. And you gotta come back. You gotta come back. You are always welcome to come back over here. But I want to just kind of get your thoughts on, the next move with the, considering the case is coming up, the trial. She indicated, she's playing chess with something, and I pulled up the law on that. I was like, okay, yeah, keep on withholding evidence, because she's already said she doesn't care. And she said a long time ago, I did not care about that investigation in Utah because she was trying to hype up her so-called investigatory skills that she does not have to try to somehow think it was more important than what real investigators were doing. Meanwhile, she doesn't want people to accuse her of impersonating investigators, which is a felony. So it's like, okay, well, you can't claim to be an investigator if you don't want to impersonate one. That's what you're trying to do. But what do you think the next steps are going to be as the murder trial kicks off? And then she's got these hearings coming up. The Macron case hearing is on July 22nd, 27th. Somebody correct me. What's the next step for?
So because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not sure what legal options exist for her to delay or try to get what those are going to be. I mean, I would assume her personality is going to parallel however that's going. Right now, for me, it's a question of how fast can she get everything to Russia and move her assets to Dubai, and does she play it safe and try to do it as soon as possible, or does she keep running the risks of even though I heard it's really hard to get this done, it probably won't happen. A judge can, in some situations, order you not to shift your ass. Like everything stays in place and you can't move anything. Otherwise, you go to jail. Like that would freeze everything in place. Now you could do it, and if you do it fast and leave the country, I don't know that you could actually be stopped. But you'd have to do it. You'd have to be really fast and not get caught. But you could do it. Right. You could do it fast and get away with it. So I've been trying to figure out. I'm like, well, how long did she wait to do this? Because in her narcissistic mind, she's probably going to win no matter what. At what point does it become like, I got to do it? The chances of me winning are low enough that it warrants me finally taking that step. I don't know. It would depend on how truly comfortable she is with doing this, because we don't know her level of anxiety about actually doing it. And then we don't know her level of anxiety at each stage of the case to where her confidence gets undermined enough where she says, okay, now it's time to do it. So I really don't know. But something I wanted to ask you, because maybe you know, but I can't figure it out. What happened to her last week? Because if you saw the show on Thursday, I think it was
the emergency.
She's lost it. Like I saw
the article.
So many people sent to me, and they're like, "You got to see it because something's going on," and no one could explain what or like articulate why. And I just about jumped out of my seat because for a living, I know what inciting violence looks like when someone wants plausible deniability. And I don't know if that's her intention, but I will tell you that it matches it. She was making the case for Erica to die, but she says, I want her to live a long life so that I can torture her longer, is basically what she said. She wants her to be exposed longer, so death is too easy of a fate for her. And the way she said it was really disturbing. But what made it even crazier to me is that there's a point where she says it. It's half a second, and then all of a sudden she gets like you see her almost snap out of it, and she starts blinking real fast, and she looks down, and her body language instantly changes. And I was like, that was really, the whole thing was weird. It was really scary and dangerous, I think.
Yeah, we saw it.
I got worried, but she clearly something happened leading up to that episode that I don't know. Something happened that triggered that massive response, because that was an escalation. Like something happened.
It's just, Candace is letting this demon overtake her. I mean, one, she's pregnant. Two, she's already pretty much said that she's gonna, she's gonna be more prone to be the aggressor and physically more violent. And that takes a level of rage and anger to even feel like you just need to be stuck on, knuck if you buck mode 24/7. And then you have, just this evil factor, spiritually, from a spiritual stance. It's just this evil demonic possession presence with her. And it comes down to that for me. And that's what I'm seeing. It's just, I've been saying for 6 months that Erica Kirk should get a protection restraining order against Candace Owens. For 6 months, I've been saying that. I've been calling it for 6 months. No one owes Candace anything, not even the benefit of the doubt that she will not do something. And now what I see is her saying all these things to create or incite this violence against Erica Kirk, to include Erica Kirk getting death threats and kidnapping threats, not just against her, but against her 2 children. Her son is 2 years old. You got to be sick and sadistic to want to kidnap and, bring death upon a 2-year-old child. But you have people out there that will be willing to do this in the name of Candace Owens. But think about this evil influence where someone will feel the need to have to do something like that, for someone to just go out and act upon that because she's being vindictive. Candace is being, jealous and envious. And envy brings along this vindication. She's like a woman scorned.
Oh, yeah.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And it's like Candace unleashing hell. It's, she doesn't read the Bible. She doesn't believe in it. But we do. And hell hath hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Candace is the epitome of that right now. Shy of her physically doing something, she's certainly laying the trap. She's laying the foundation for it. She doesn't care if something happens to Erica Kirk. That's kind of like me, been her end goal for 6 months. And this is why I've been saying ever since she fully admitted that she's got sources and direct contacts living in her residential building, I was like, now you have more evidence to show a judge in a court of law.
Yeah.
This is why I need a protection order. This girl is having me stalked. She's admitting to this. Why would anyone need to call her about what I'm doing at home with my kids? Like, that is obsession overload. It's dangerous. And if something were to happen to Erica Kirk, Candace Owens would not care. She would not lose 1 second sleep.
No, she'd be
happy. It
would
not bother her at all. She would be gleeful because she thinks this is going to be the quick way for me to slide in and become CEO of TPUSA, as if there's no board of directors. But
yeah, right.
She thinks that's how that will work in her mind.
Yeah.
Anything to get to that point, to that end goal. And Candace is insufferable, but it's what you see from a woman scorned. I never thought in my lifetime I would see, like, it's like that movie, Basic Instinct, where the lady was boiling the bunny in the pot and all that. I never thought I would see someone on that level in my lifetime. In reality, Candace is that. And people are just trying to brush it off. Like, oh, she's just why would anyone say that? Anyone in their right frame of mind, any sane, reasonable minded individual, why would they say anything like that? I don't know. Death would
and the way she said it, like, I saw someone was wondering, like, where do you see it? It's her episode on Thursday. It's like about halfway
in. Emergency live stream.
Emergency, yeah. But I think I have the clip. If you go to my X account, I have a thread because I put out a warning because of what Candace said, but also some other things, just so that people would see it. Like, a lot of people think, oh, it's scary, it's weird, it's hateful. I was like, no, this actually rises to the level that there needs to be a security warning now.
Exactly.
Because it was too weird with Candace going away on vacation, and then her Russia-linked associate, Elizabeth Lane, got exposed for, she has a ex-boyfriend or current friend, whatever it is, she dated him or is currently dating him, a guy in Russian intelligence who worked for a group that's a Russian government-sponsored terrorist group, and he's connected to Russian special forces, and she's connected to American special forces who she would date or sleep with, and then get their information, then give it to Russia. And she is the one, she's demonizing Erica, and she's out there saying there needs to be violence against our enemies. She didn't say violence against Erica Kirk, but the justification for violence, she said Zionists and people who are doing these bad things, there has to be violence now against them. And Erica, who she obsesses over and demonizes, fits that criteria. And then Elizabeth Lane lives near where Charlie was shot. And in fact, when he was shot, she went to his hospital and I guess tried to get in or film, and they said you can't film outside the entrance. And then she said, oh, that's evidence of a cover-up. So you have so to summarize, like, you put it together, and I'm like, am I accusing Candace of, like, having foreknowledge of a plot or anything? No, I'm just saying there's enough smoke, and I didn't think people were understanding the severity of that smoke. So I put out a warning on X. There's a thread, and you can see a clip of what she said, and I think people will see it, and you have to see it, not just say, oh, it's hateful. You have to look at her face. That's someone who has lost it and has, I mean, she does want her to die. She basically said it.
Yeah, she does.
She said it in such a way that that's what someone looks like when that's the person that's at least thinking about how to make it happen. It has fantasized about it, whether she's actively, I don't know, but she's at least really thought about that and said, I want that to happen to the point that it came out the way it did. But then her close friend who is connected, who is a Russian special forces intelligence operative who fought for a Russian terrorist group. And then she, the Russia-linked friend, Elizabeth Lane, lives near the hearing, has gone to the court things and talked to Robinson's family. And she maybe she was trolling, but she said something like, oh, I can't wait to see Erica Kirk at the preliminary hearing. I wonder if she'll cancel because she'll see me as a security threat, because she was mocking my warning. But she still said, oh, I want to go there. And of course she's going to go there because she's gone there in the past and she's positioning herself as a reporter covering the case. And I was like, you know what? There's just too much. And Candace is on vacation when she shouldn't be. I was like, I'm not accusing her of something, but at a certain point, there's enough smoke where you say, I don't think someone's doing something, but if I don't bring attention to that smoke and those dots, like I'm gonna feel horrible if something does happen. So that's why I made that thread. But if you want to see just the clip, it's there. But I'd be interested in getting people's honest opinion about whether I was overreacting or not, because I thought a long time about whether, like, am I being dramatic?
No, she wants the girl deceased.
Yeah, but there was just too much there. There were too many anomalies lining up where I was like, you know what? If someone linked to Russian terrorists and Russian special forces who says to go out and kill people and hates Erica Kirk, it's probably going to be where Erica Kirk is, and it's at the same time that Candace is leaving the country and implying that Erica should be killed. That's it. I had to say something. I felt like, but
yeah, I mean, I'm glad you did, because I thought I was the only one. I even did a video where I titled it "Candace Owens wants Erica Kirk dead." That is the title of the whole live stream I did. I literally on my playlist for Candace Owens, I literally have a video titled that, because I'm calling it out as I see it. Then and this was a few months ago. I've been saying this is 6 months ago. She needs to get a PO or TRO or TPO against her in general, because I don't know anyone that would get upset. Erica Kirk decided to cancel an event with the VP because of a death threat. Goes home to her kids, and then the cult members get mad at that. Yeah. But then when she goes out and does an event, she needs to be at home with her kids. You can't please cult members. They don't know what they want. Half the time they're just bouncing off their cult leader.
Well, I think Candace mocked her for it, and I'm like, well, if you're mocking her for it, in light of what just happened in these data points I just mentioned, but are you mocking it because you're trying to punish her for canceling because you don't want her to cancel at a future event? Like, if I want something bad to happen to somebody,
they wanted her there. Exactly.
I want to know that if there's an event where you're going to stick to it, because I want something to happen to you.
That's it. Yeah. That's what it was. I think they were mad because she canceled, and there was some plans for something to happen, because look what happened. The next event Erica Kirk went to, which was the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Her government shows up at the hotel. That was the next major event she went out in public. And you got the president at that White House Correspondents' Dinner. So if you with the VP, you can't say nothing will happen when something happened with the president. What do you mean? So it's the stupidity. They don't use a brain God gave a billy goat. But they wanted something to happen. And they got upset because her canceling that plan thwarted whatever they had lined up. And then when she does go back out and goes to an event in the public with the president being there, look what happens.
Yeah.
It's like, they're so obvious with it. I've been saying this for months. I've literally done videos where that is the title of my video. Candace Owens wants Erica Kirk dead.
Yeah.
That simple. Because she does. And it's not just her, the person, it's what she represents. Candace Owens is so jealous of what Erica Kirk represents. She's got this huge organization that her husband built. Charlie Kirk didn't marry Candace Owens. He married Erica Kirk. But Candace Owens wanted that to happen. And then he gets this organization. He has these other subcomponents that are successful as well, thriving. They nonprofit, so based on donors and contributions, the millions of dollars that they bring in, they've had favor with the White House. They've had this huge influence on the presidential race with Trump winning, the conservative movement, the youth. look at the influence that they have overall. That's what Candace wants. It's about power and control, and the money just comes with it. If she can get the power and the control, the money will flow. Yeah. But it's not just her wanting Erica Kirk dead. It's what she represents as well. Either she wants to be in that position, or she wants it deceased and eliminated. And that's the problem. And she's mad because it's not happening the way she wants. She's not getting what she wants.
Yeah.
The devil never wins in the end. So we're seeing these ideations that she's had for months manifest, and she's spilling it out. And it's something that, I've noticed, for 6 months. And I've even said, Erica Kirk needs to safeguard herself. As a Christian, Jesus was no punk. He did not walk this earth as a punk. When he went to the temple, he tore up the temple and he said, I told you all not to turn the house of God into a den of thieves. I meant what I said. He turned over tables. He got mad. He got angry. And he meant what he said, and he didn't have to do it again.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we don't have to live in fear. We should not have to live, letting people just get away with saying and doing violent things, or even making violent ideations. No one has to be okay with that. We have a justice system. We have the laws of the land. The Bible says we are to obey. Candace believing she's above the rule of law and should act with impunity without consequence is what's making her even more dangerous. It's emboldening her.
That's a good point.
Empowering her. And it's time out for that. Erica Kirk should have already got a protection restraining order, and she definitely needs to be dropping a federal lawsuit on her, as well as TPUSA. I don't care if all you get is discovery and they give you 20 million. It's the idea of saying we're not going to keep putting up with this nonsense. That's her Achilles heel. Litigation. Go figure.
Yeah. Somebody's saying for you to check your email before I leave, so I saw that.
Okay. Oh, hold on a second. Sifa, let me see. Oh, we got a photo.
Whoever made the photo on your last episode was hysterical, of George Farmer proposing to Candace. I was laughing so hard at that.
You gonna marry me or what? Yeah. All the Luxes, they come up with these great photos. It's something else. Oh, we got it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you all this. This is the this is priceless. This is the intern, y'all. We got it. I told you we'll get that photo. You never have to worry here. We'll do all the.
I'm not seeing it.
Poking and prodding. Hold on 1 second. Let me. Hey, where is it? Yep, here it is. Oh, this is too good. This is going to be a thumbnail. I'm gonna send this to you on X as well. Boom. Can you see it? Hold on a second. Can you see
it? Oh my God, I see it in the back. Yeah. Is that supposed to be George Foreman?
Candace Owens intern.
That's awesome.
And you looking at her like, ew. Yeah. Oh, this is priceless. Shout out to you, C. Oh, I love it.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, well done. Oh, my goodness.
That's pretty funny.
I love it. Oh, this is awesome. Y'all know I'll make this a thumbnail in a background in a minute. Oh, we're gonna send this over to you. This is it, Candace. You were the intern. You were nothing more. So all these attacks and ideations and stuff that she has is, what's been harboring up in her for months. I thought it was just a matter of time for her to get to a point where she started attacking Erica Kirk. I saw that pattern coming out, and hopefully the parents remain off limits. But when it comes to her and her dumb coat, who's to say? I think I see one of the Luxor sent me a screenshot of someone sending a super talking about Charlie Kirk's parents. And I'm like, oh, see, if they try to go after his parents, that'll be into that. They already went after Erica Kirk and her mother.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna switch gears to go after his parents. Like, how dare they sit back and let all this happen? Happen.
They might not, because they want to manufacture. They want Charlie's parents to hate Erica very badly. I've seen them like really trying to make it sound as if because they think that'll vindicate them. They also, I keep seeing these comments where they think Candace's new baby is going to be Charlie Kirk reincarnated. I keep seeing that. I'm like, man, you people are nuts.
Oh no, that's so demonic.
I wouldn't put it past them to name him Charlie, though. Would you? Like, that would not surprise me at all.
It wouldn't. I said the same thing. I was like, I wouldn't be shocked if she named the baby, Charlie Kirk Farmer.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't be
would
surprised.
not be shocked. It's like, girl, boy, you showing how desperate you are. That's for one. That's for
Yeah,
sure. You're desperate. So we gotta do this again. I'm
yeah.
just, oh man, we having so much fun. Any questions you have? Anything? Any last thoughts? Anything you want to share before we get to the
Uh,
supers?
People can follow me on all the social media. I have
Yeah,
a
can we plug
nonprofit. If you want to make a tax deductible donation, help me keep this going, because I'm not entirely sure I can keep the podcast going, because it's so research based that I have to.
Mhm.
It takes a lot of time, and I'm going through some changes in employment and income. So as I get through that, it's a little tough right now. But I'm hoping I don't get forced into an arrangement where, because I've seen this happen before, where it's like, oh, you can do your podcast, but you can't talk about this. You can't, like, I don't want someone else to have to control it. And then there's always limitations, because if anyone who works in the political world, political
Mhm.
nonprofit world or whatever, they always muzzle you. Everyone says they
Yeah.
don't. Every single one does.
Yeah.
So I want to try to remain independent.
Okay.
And I also want to make ends meet while I figure
Yep.
out which option to take, or how to make my own option. So people
Okay.
can support me with a tax deductible donation to the Mauro
Ooh.
Institute by excuse me, by going to ryanmauro.com.
Mm. There you go.
And then,
Do you
yeah,
have a
just
Cash App
remember, I
or
know
a
there were some
Zelle?
clips that you mentioned that I'd love to get from you.
Okay.
Because with Candace, every time I think I've collected everything, there's like a mountain more.
It
So,
sounds a lot.
yeah.
So if you have a Cash App or a Zelle you want to leave us, I'll type it up in the chat that you guys can check out ryanmorrow.com. He also, are you monetized on YouTube? Can people leave you super chats and
Yeah.
stuff?
They can do
Awesome.
that
Okay.
too. They go
So
ryanmore.com, or I don't know if on YouTube you can do, like, can you only do super chats when you're broadcasting, or how? I'm not sure how that all works.
you can leave a super chat at any time if you're
Oh,
monetized. If you have that option on for
I
your
do. I
YouTube
believe I
channel.
do. Yeah.
Okay, so that's another way. The thing is, YouTube takes like 30-40%, but I
Yeah.
mean it's a quick option as well. But if you guys want to donate and bless him, for all his research and time he put into it, be a blessing to Ryan Morrow. Go to his website, donate to him, do a super thanks, super chat, and that way he can have a blessing and financial help however you need to use it for. And I'll definitely do a super myself,
Thank
and you
you.
guys can get a tax deductible statement of some sort.
Yeah.
If I don't get one, I don't care. It's just want to be a
Well, you
blessing
might
to
as
you,
well.
all the research as well, for your great research and time, because it does take time, you guys. It takes time
Yeah.
to put into doing an expose, or an analysis, or the information that he has shared. It takes time to get that together and to present it. So be a blessing to Ryan as he has been to us. Do you have memberships? People can do memberships if you have that
I
available.
don't yet, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to continue doing this particular
Okay.
thing, so I didn't want to do
Okay.
it. I
Okay.
actually do have one request for a show for you. I made a
Okay.
doc, because I think it'll be funny seeing your reaction. I made
Okay.
a film that went viral on YouTube in 2018.
Yeah.
Since you're using Christian language, I think it'll appeal to you. But it's called
Okay.
"Finding the Mountain of Moses."
All right.
And I filmed it covertly in Saudi Arabia. It's related to some
Mhm.
sites that people don't know about that are probably related to the Exodus, and give really good evidence that the story of
Okay.
Moses and the Exodus happened. It's more exciting than it sounds. But
Okay.
it went viral. It airs on Newsmax TV and stuff.
What?
So people at least find it captivating. But I'd like to see some of your funny over the top reactions to it.
Yay! Y'all send me the link. Can one of the mods send me the link to that, and we will,
But
or
I
email
want
it
you to
to
watch
me,
it
and
for
I'll
the
do it.
first time live. That's what I want to
Yes,
say.
we'll do a
Yeah.
watch party. We will do a
Watch
party.
party. Yeah, so I
Yep.
see your reaction would be funny.
We will schedule a watch party for that. Can someone email me the link? It's on your YouTube
I can
channel
send
or
it to
your
you.
X? Email it to me. Email
Yeah,
it to me.
I'll email it to you.
Lady Luck Club LLC at yahoo.com. Email it to me, and we will schedule a watch party for that, and we will check it out, because we've been enjoying your the 2 episodes you've done so far with your exposés. We've done watch parties on those, and it is informative. As well as, we have to be entertaining over here in the Lady Luck Club. Y'all know
that. Yeah.
We
Not everything can be so serious.
Exactly, because if you sit here and just be mad at Candace, you'll have a migraine, child.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I want to like her.
Exactly. We want to give a shout out to all of you all that have supported us here. I know you have your channel linked as well. Thank you so much, Juju, for the LLC membership. Thank you, Marshawn, for the $20 super. Mr. Mauro is fantastic. Thanks for hosting him. His LLC. George had a stake in his pocket. Thank you so much. And then another 5 super from Marshawn. It's a Spanish here. El Jorge es un cabrón en borracho. Perdóname, mi Dios. I hope I said that right. I'm still learning. And then here is the YouTube channel for Ryan Mauro. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to Ryan Mauro and check out his great content is on his channel. We're going to schedule the watch party for the documentary you did. It sounds intriguing. So yeah, that'd be awesome to do that. And 5 super from Juju. Shout out to the fantastic Maz here. Love this duo. Thank you. And then he sent you a $5 super on your channel. So you have a $5 super over there. Love the duo.
Thank you. I didn't even know that could happen. Okay.
Yeah. So when you see the little link here above the user profile picture, that's for me indication that it is on your channel.
I see.
So he sent a $5 super to you.
Thank you.
And this is I think a post that you were referring to. This is the link for that on your X profile on your X page.
Oh, right.
And the website. So you guys make sure you go and donate and show your love to Ryan Mauro. I want to thank you so much for taking time to hang out with us. We're going into 2 hours, 30 minutes. That's nothing for me. I could do a 3-hour live stream easy, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. We got to come back, honey. You got to come back. If you want to join us for the watch party, let me know if you want to join us for the watch party and we'll watch it together. That way we can be interactive, ask questions if you have time. If not, we'll still do the watch party and you can join in. That'll be awesome. So I look forward to that. You guys look out for the announcement on that. Thank Ryan Mauro for coming in with us.
Thank you guys.
I appreciate you all, and I will see you all tomorrow in our live on Candice. You're still an alien, and you can kick rocks. All right. You guys have a great evening. Thank you so much. And until the next one, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.